You're up and it's still dark. Kick back with a cup of joe. You know you've got friends waiting on 1620 The Zone. It's Happer and Schaefer. It's Connor and Mike. Listen on the radio stream or YouTube or podcasts. Anytime it feels right. It's Happer and Schaefer. It's Happer and Schaefer.
Good morning and welcome in. Happy Friday. It is Happer and Schaefer here on 1620 The Zone. 1620thezone.com, the Zone mobile app of the Zone Radio Network. I'm Connor Happer alongside Mike Schaefer and Joey Colbert this morning. Hi, gentlemen. How we doing?
Just happy to be here.
Happy to be here.
It's Friday.
It's
May.
Friday. And it's May, and I only saw one Justin Timberlake meme on Facebook yesterday. It was nice.
I heard one from a podcast driving in.
A podcast?
Yeah,
they're
like, "We're
using
gonna play the
verbal
audio."
memes on podcasts?
Well, they played the clip, the sound clip.
Like from the song?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What podcast is
It was
this?
a fantasy baseball podcast.
I was going to say, it'd remind me to not listen to that podcast.
Yeah, you just, well, one, I don't think you'd want to listen to it.
I'm not going to. No.
Two,
I will not be listening to a fantasy baseball podcast.
I heard that and then immediately grimaced and realized it's just going to be that sort of day. It's going to be on Facebook. It's going to be on Twitter.
Mhm.
Someone will say it to you in real life.
I want to say, coming off of your excursion this week in the area between like 72nd and Dodge and 90th and Dodge, with the tires and the potholes and the situation like that. Holy crap! I think they should just close that stretch of road. I mean, it is.
You experienced?
I mean, I didn't have anything happen to my tire. At least
Right.
I don't think.
I didn't.
But
I
it's
didn't either.
it's almost impossible to miss like a significant
Yeah.
one. You know, like the real rim rockers.
It's
The
and it's
real,
more
like,
going
boom.
back to the west, I think.
Also,
Like,
I hit it coming east this morning. I was
Oh,
like,
okay. I might have missed that one then.
you
I'm
you
glad that
you
I
must have. It is back for whatever reason right there, going up that hill to 90th or coming down from it if you're going east.
Yeah.
Really, really bad. So watch out. Potholes are
I've had
happening.
a couple people tell me that they know the exact pothole that I hit.
They should mark it.
Like we said,
They have like a counter
Sponsored by
by it.
Schaefer.
I should be allowed to sponsor it.
Yeah, the umpires stand there with their pitch counters or whatever. You just have like an umpire standing there.
Got
with
another one.
with a clicker,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
and it says 42. That's how many tires it's taken in the last several days. All right, here we are on a Friday, ladies and gentlemen. We have an exciting show for you all today. We are going to talk to Jake Sorensen, who is our lone guest in the 9 o'clock hour, because I made contact with Evan Porter yesterday, the future, not retiree. I mean, he's not retiring, but he's resigning, I guess, from Omaha baseball. And I was like, congrats, but also please come on the show. And then he said, okay. And then he had something come up this morning. So we will talk to him next week.
We almost had 2 of the 3 baseball coaches in the same week.
Will
on the
Bolt,
show.
That is true.
where's Will Bolt? We need to call him up.
Well, I would assume they are on their way or have already arrived.
Yes,
Minneapolis?
they're definitely in Columbus.
or Columbus. Yeah, it's Ohio State this weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, so he would have been a tough get on the show.
But I also don't know if he's allowed to come on the show. I don't know. I don't. The baseball coach rules have always been a little bit sticky. The football coach makes sense. The basketball coach, okay. I don't think he really cares. Certainly,
I
but-
don't think the rules apply to anything if they choose them not to.
Agreed.
So we'll put it that way.
Agreed.
Like, They seem like very loose guidelines.
But there was a time.
NIL guidelines, maybe, if you would.
There you go.
Like maybe do it like this, but there's probably no CSC that we'd have to worry about.
I don't think so, but I will say this, Schaefer. There was a time where those rules were strictly enforced.
Yes. No,
and they were, people would chase you down if you stepped out of line. I don't know that that's the case anymore.
Where you could receive phone calls if people were wondering how you got an interview or what quotes you were using if they weren't sourced from a certain time period or so no, I'm familiar with that. I just think that everything has laxed in the NIL era.
Yeah, and yes, you think it's because of NIL?
Kind of. I think the coaches themselves are. What are you going to do? Tell the head coach? Like if the head coach agrees to come on to somebody's show, Also, I understand the exclusivity of it with your radio network, but no one's competing against you at 6 to 9 o'clock at night.
I don't know. Hey, man, I've always said that, but
no, I
don't make the rules.
I don't know that anybody does.
Yeah, I guess there might not be any rules anymore. So anyway, maybe we'll bolt on the show at some points as well. But that's our lineup today with young Jake, as the Royals have kind of rebounded a little bit and then went and lost 2 out of 3 to the A's this weekend in Sacramento. So we'll see where he's at on those guys. And we would love to hear from you. 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. You could call or text that number. Tweet at us at HappenSchafe, at Connor Happer, at Mike J. Schaefer on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. You can email Connor or Mike at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. And we say good morning to our YouTube streamers this morning. Hello, YouTube streamers. Sal says, fire up Bone Thugs and Harmony. We got a lot. We maybe it's a feel-good Friday today. Maybe we're rocking and rolling. That's what Joey just said on Twitter. I saw your tweet, Joey.
That's usually the naming for Friday. It's not feel good for me as a basketball fan.
Oh, you're not feeling as good as the city of Minnesota today?
Me neither.
Minnesota.
The city of Minnesota, Mike. Jeez.
I know.
On the day where we have city of the day.
I know.
We're expected to know about geographical components.
Look, you make mistakes. You just have to move on from it.
I don't feel very good as a basketball fan either. I don't really feel good as a person. I have like a headache, and it's we're just.
You've kind of been fighting it all week.
Yeah, I've been fighting.
I've been fighting. I've been fighting stuff through the rest of the week since my trip back.
Joey's got a week-long hangover.
Yeah,
pretty much. Pretty much.
Old fashions made with beer really got it.
It did.
Yeah,
and then the jet lag.
Don't ever make that drink.
Well, in the jet lag from having to get up at like 1 a.m. Central Time just to make the drive back.
The jet lag? You didn't fly on a jet?
Whatever the road version of that.
You don't know how they drive?
Road lag.
I guess so.
Body clock problem.
Interstate lag.
Yes, that does take a lot out of you, by the way. Friday shout outs are coming in as well. We got one already for the morning. Also, we have this is unique from Sam, City of the Day prediction.
Oh,
City of the Day prediction. I'll tell you, Sam, wrong. Incorrect.
We're never that creative.
I don't. Yeah, that's that. If somebody got that one day, I guess it wouldn't be that impressive because they're usually pretty topical. But
you know what would be a fun idea, and I think I mentioned this a while back. Just have like a map and just throw a dart at and see where it lands, and then whatever's the nearest city will just.
But what if they're not interesting? What if they're?
I still want to go back to where we contact people at the actual city and let them know they've been chosen as city of the day.
I know.
Just to see how they
Congratulations.
But if you're going too big up the population scale, then
it don't matter.
It possibly, I guess, it could be even funnier if we hit up somebody from a large city and be like, "Hey, you're our city of the day."
I want to put together like a generic press release, like make this seem like it's a whole thing.
Okay. Well, there would have to be some work that got put into it, unfortunately.
That's why nothing is ever going to happen.
That's right.
I know where it's gonna die out.
That is right. Elsewhere today on the show, we have many topics. It's a fun sports weekend because we're getting into quote unquote weird sports weekend time, Derby weekend, and so that is sort of the main focused sporting event this weekend. We have college baseball. We'll do another combined over under on Nebraska Creighton wins this weekend. We'll bump it down a little bit. We'll see. Creighton's got a very tough series. Nebraska as a normal series at
Yeah,
at
Ohio State, similar to Illinois, a team that's kind of middle of the pack, Big Ten. So
Saturday games on BTN, by the way.
Whoa,
look
television?
at that.
Yeah.
Is this true?
Joey,
is.
were you
I-
checking out the lax schedule?
Yeah,
and you
what-
happened
I
to
was
stumble into a baseball
Yeah,
game?
yeah. The first and third games on BTN Plus, and then the middle ones on BTN. Unfortunately, I won't be able to watch it because I have to glue my eyes onto the TV on NBC for the Celtics Sixers Game 7.
You weren't gonna watch it anyway, Joey.
No, I gotta watch it.
You weren't gonna watch
No,
the
no, no,
Nebraska
he
baseball.
meant the
game.
baseball.
Oh, the
game.
baseball game.
Yeah.
You were gonna be looking up information about the potential NFL schedule or watching the Celtics.
His schedule date, I think, is today, right?
It came back. It bumped back.
It's postponed.
Wow.
It's because of the week-long hangover.
It is.
Jeez, he's old fashioned.
It's
Yes.
the beer old.
I need the weekend to finish up the book. I'm adding a lot more detail to the book than I've done before.
Joey.
Since I'm an expert at making graphics for the show.
You got to do it right.
Yes,
I respect that. You got to do
exactly.
it right. And so it
He
will
want to
be
put out an inferior product.
It will be done right. It will be done right.
Just don't announce any more games, NFL, because I already had to adjust the
right, because then
Cowboys,
you got to adjust. Exactly.
Ravens.
Let's see. Sam follows up on our if we just throw a dart thing. He says all cities are interesting. I'm still pro list them all for a bracket next March to compete in City of the Year.
Don't hate it.
We can still do that.
I like the idea.
Do not hate it.
Joey, do you have a master list going somewhere? Because we don't.
Well, I could look back and I could easily look
We can
back.
find it. We can find it. I'll tell you what today is. Louisville, Kentucky. It makes a lot of
Whoa.
sense.
Yep. It's Louisville.
Louisville, Kentucky, home of
Yeah.
the Kentucky Derby,
Oh yeah, that does make
home
sense.
of the Twin
And the
Spires.
Bad.
I was gonna ask going in the break if you're talking about the one in Nebraska or the one in Kentucky. So thank you for answering that.
Not Louisville, Nebraska, Louisville, Kentucky, home of whiskey. Joey, you might not
Oh,
be
yes.
interested right now because of your week-long hangover. The Kentucky Derby this weekend, horse racing in general,
The Slugger Factory.
and the Louisville Slugger Factory, which I love. I went
Yeah,
there
that
when I
makes
was a
sense.
kid. I watched them make bats.
This is what I mean. We could have let them know that they were City of the Day. Maybe they send us a little bat that says Happer and Schaefer on it. We can put it on the display back here.
And another city that is home of gut-punching Creighton NCAA tournament losses.
Oh, I didn't know that. Which one is this?
The
This
foul.
is from
it's-
that's the most gut-punching one of them
We
all.
need a
It's the
sounder.
foul that wasn't a foul and a
Yeah.
foul. Yeah.
We need like a sounder or something to play every time like your brain turns whatever a current topic into something that happened to Creighton. Or like anytime you see or
It's a
get
good idea.
reminded of 2023.
Maybe it's the clunk sound when I remember when I was shooting. Well, you guys. probably
Oh,
don't
during
remember.
Unsportsmanlike
Yeah,
Conduct
yeah.
when John was
There's a
courtside.
drop in there of the clank from the rim. I don't know what it would be called at all, but just something short like that.
Yeah.
Or do you want to do like a fully produced?
No,
like,
either way, like I'm fine with it,
Happers
but I
turned
like the
another
idea of
topic
we
into
break
Creighton
out-
basketball.
We break out whatever we're doing, and then you can relate it to this Creighton happening.
How about this? Think about how about this? Joey found it. It appears. Go ahead. No, that was not.
Probably
it.
not enough.
That was not it. That doesn't even do clank.
No, it doesn't.
What is wrong? That thing is labeled incorrectly.
Oh, no.
Maybe Happer? I don't know. Happer basketball clunk. There we go. Hit it.
Yeah, that works.
That's what it sounds like when you have the effects feed up and there's only one man shooting a basketball and he misses.
Were you? Did you hit the dead spot side or? What?
It must have been the front. Yeah,
Were
but
you dead on just to drill the front of the rim?
no, I shot it like a real basketball, and yeah, I just missed the front. I missed it.
Well,
on
yeah,
the
I
front
mean,
of
I
the rim.
assumed you shot it like a real basketball. I'm
Yeah.
talking about like what part of the rim it hit.
It must have. I don't remember that one in
Oh.
particular, but I assume it was
You
the
don't remember
front.
exactly where you were standing in
No,
this random basketball game?
Not at
What
all.
the hell was wrong with
it
you?
wasn't even a game. It was just me shooting hoops like I always do before the game.
Yeah, well, ridiculous.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have the memory of some of the folks out
Next,
there.
you're going to tell me you don't shoot from the same spot every time.
I don't.
I don't believe this.
Text from the 515. We love ideas on this Friday. I've got it. Nebraska football should embark on an Adopt-A-Trough fundraising campaign. I mean, that's basically what they're doing. They're just going to auction a couple of them off. They'll be popping up at bars.
Someone, I think it was our dear friend John Bishop said that he thinks someone will buy the trop or buy a trop and then like turn it into a cooler, and that just sounds horrific.
Absolutely.
Just turn it into a garden. You can make anything
There you
into
go.
a garden.
Yeah, no, Joey's been big on this.
Mr. Yogurt says there were going to be some significant industrial
I haven't heard what he
desanitization
said.
processes.
Still
So
doesn't make it something that I'd want to pull a beverage out of.
I agree completely, but people do what they do.
People they be doing.
They be doing what they be doing. Elsewhere today in the show, like I said, by the way, if you're just flying in, maybe you're just off the plane. Happy Berkshire Hathaway weekend, everybody.
Yes.
Hip hip hooray.
Hip hip hooray. So Omahans, enjoy the deals across the cities. If you got your Berkeys, if you got your Berkey bees, or if you're coming here for the first time or just visiting, welcome. Welcome to Omaha. Please pardon our dust. Do not take our city seriously right now. We are not ready to do anything in full form.
Just don't block Farnham.
We have no roads. We have no airport. We have no football facilities. We have nothing going on right now.
Yeah.
Please come back in 2029.
It also just feels like a relatively quiet weekend for the city too. Like there's not like any major event or anything happening.
Except for Berkshire
Right,
Hathaway.
but I mean like nothing else going on. There's no sporting event or anything.
No, but they're not. There isn't usually. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
think.
true.
Yeah,
It's
it's
early May.
It hits here every weekend or every year. So that I didn't drive down. I should have driven down. I didn't have time. I should have driven down Farnham this morning.
I did this morning.
Are the ropes out?
No, I don't see any ropes out. over
Really?
there. Yeah,
Maybe the
I was
ropes don't.
shocked.
Maybe the ropes don't come out till like 10 o'clock. or
Yeah,
something
probably
like that.
later in the morning.
So the ropes around Warren's house.
Maybe I'll drive by after I get out of here.
I think it's we need Joey on the street for this because remember we sent, Schaefer, you weren't here, but we sent Matt over there last year after he was doing the morning show. We sent him over there and I don't think he could find it, even though his house is like 6 blocks away from us right now. Like we sent him over there and he was like, no, I didn't really see anything going on, but there's always people out there and there's always like they
want to get their photos.
Well, they put the ropes out there so they could be in an orderly fashion instead of like running into Farnham Street and people smoking them with their cars and stuff like that.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No, we do not.
The sort of news items you want.
Dealer says he finally put up a fence. He's had a fence. He's got some
there.
vines going up over there. But yeah, the addition of the ropes over the last couple of years to keep people in an orderly fashion have been important. Adebo says junk stock in Berkshire in the same weekend. The duality of man. There's a junk stock this weekend, and I haven't been asked by my wife to go.
Wow,
this is amazing.
You have a new house to fill.
I know.
That's a lot of room for you have more room for junk than ever before.
Please do not
stock it at your house.
Please do not tell anyone that. Do not let this word get back to my wife that junk stock is this weekend because we would be up in that thing.
Yeah,
we would be up there big time. So it's Friday, ladies and gentlemen, and we, as always, would love to hear from you. Matthew says junk stock is quite often, and that is true.
I was it was more of a fall thing.
It does feel like it happens like 6 times a year.
Well, they have like the whole area, and people show up for it.
The food trucks. I go for the food trucks. I like the food trucks.
I've gone a couple times. It's enjoyable. I've never also spent like a ton of money there.
I love it. I've never spent like hardly any. I don't think I've ever actually bought anything there except for food trucks.
I had some friends buy their kitchen table from junk stock.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I go there and let me tell you something about Connor Happer. I love a place that has like 6 food trucks, like a food court style. What a great thing. I love all of the options.
Yes.
I just absolutely agonize over the decision-making process on what to get the entire time.
I can imagine this entire thing. And then do you do the sample of a couple different things to make up for?
No, I'm not much of a sampler.
Or do you commit to just one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I would have thought that you'd have been a sample guy.
Unless it's a deal where like I really want fries and the one that I picked didn't have fries or something like that. No, not much of a sampling. We go for it.
That actually surprises me a little.
One purchase, because oftentimes the lines are pretty extreme.
Well, and partly because just survival, like the prices of food trucks, you're not exactly getting cheap things. So,
No, you are not. No,
but you are
not.
getting good things generally.
Let's take a break. We will start things off. We could talk a little bit about the NBA last night. People are talking about how Nikola Jokic stinks now. He has been eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah, let's talk about that and not about the other team.
They are saying that he is not the best player in the NBA anymore. And maybe we could mention the fact that the Celtics have unfortunately been drugged to a game 7 by the Philadelphia 76ers and
I hate
Joel Embiid. Ugh.
I hate it.
That is a horrible look for both of our teams, Joey. We'll be back after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, so the New York Knicks with 7:56 to go in the first quarter last night in Game 6 against the Atlanta Hawks in Atlanta, mind you, we're down 11-9. Seems like a pretty innocuous point in the game, and in
Exactly.
early in the game. Well, this is exactly when a 67-14 run began for the New York Knicks, and so by the end of the run, which was with about 3.5 minutes to go in the second quarter, it was 76-25.
Ouch.
76-25.
This had the vibe of the Game 7 between the Mavericks and the Phoenix Suns, if you remember. This
Oh, that
happened
was
at
great.
Phoenix, and Dallas just kept kicking Phoenix's butt.
Now, I have a question for you guys. Which is worse? Now, this is going back to our numbers game. Okay. Schaefer does not believe me when I tell him that 39 is 40 and that 29 is 30. So let me ask you this. Which is worse? 76-25 or 140-89?
76-25.
I think the fact that 76-25 is still with time remaining in the second quarter makes it worse.
Agreed
Yeah, makes it
completely.
worse.
76-25
With the
is
context
way
of it.
worse.
Considering in this day and age for the NBA where scoring is more of a thing than defense is,
Mhm.
60 is more of an acceptance for points and a half, and getting half of that really bad.
76-25 is terrible. Although 140-89 is pretty bad as well.
It doesn't seem as bad because your brain's like, well, end of game. Just,
Yeah.
you know. But when
And
it's
I've seen a team.
76-25 in the second
Yeah.
Well,
quarter.
the Knicks pulled their starters, so it's all bench players
Yeah.
playing garbage time.
Like, I've definitely seen a team score 140 before. I've definitely seen a team score 89 before. Like, this is pretty normal. But 76-25 with 2 minutes left in the first half is nuts.
So here's what I thought that you were setting up for before you said the numbers thing. Which is worse? Your offense has only scored 25 points to this point. Your defense has allowed 76 points in that amount.
It's got to be the offense.
Probably the offense and the way the NBA operates now.
Because, I mean, we're talking about, like, pretty regular 30 to 30, like a regular NBA quarter scoring output is probably about 30 these days, right? I don't
Closer to like 25.
I don't know the numbers on that,
Yeah.
but like if we average it out, teams are scoring over 100 a game.
Yeah,
like
they're what, like 110 a game on average.
So let's just say
somewhere
like
there?
27 and a half or something like that. 27 and a half a quarter. They have 25 with 2 minutes to go in the second.
Yeah.
That's way worse.
That's bad.
I've seen teams score 70 in a half before.
Didn't they
It's
have
bad, but
what
it's
was
not
the
as
end
bad.
of the first half? Was it like 83 to
It was 85-38 at
Yeah.
the half.
So it's even worse than that. Like,
But they scored at least 20. The Hawks scored at least 21 in the second quarter, which
Sure.
is like a manageable, reasonable number. They only got 15 in the first quarter.
I don't think I've seen a lot of, well, certainly not playoff games that would have an 80-point half. Like, that's insanity.
40 points in the first quarter and 43 points in the second quarter. So back-to-back 40-point quarters, followed up by a 34-point quarter, and then they took everybody out and scored only 23 in the fourth.
Like, all right,
it was
we
basically
Car-
like the
Carl
Melvin Gordon game.
So Carl Anthony Towns recorded a triple-double in that game. He only went 1 for 4 shooting. He didn't need to do a whole lot.
He went 10 and 10 from the free throw
Yeah.
line.
We'll put it this way. What did you say they had at half? 85?
85.
83.
83.
83.
So they would have only needed to score 7 points total in
That's
the
true.
second half to win the game.
Accurate.
Someone
yes.
tweeted out and wondered if the Knicks just run the entire 24 seconds every possession, would they still win the game at that point?
Yeah.
I mean, basically, once they got to
I
8,
saw
once they got
Cousin
to
Sal
90.
tweet out at halftime, like, if they don't score, they could still win.
Every single player on the Knicks scored a point at least, which
OG went off in that game.
So here we go. We went through some NBA names
Yeah, let's do
yesterday.
it.
You ready for some guys?
Yeah.
Man. Okay. Landry Shamet, folks.
I know that guy.
That's a guy who's been around for a little bit. Playoff hero Jose Alvarado
Yeah.
back. He got himself 3 points. Marquette's Tyler Kolek, who definitely cannot read, he scored 6 points last night. Let's see. We had some Mitchell Robinson, who played the least amount of minutes. That was Jose Alvarado. We had Dadier, a guy named Dadier, a guy named Diawara, a guy named Hook Porty. I don't know any of these people. These are great. I love this 51-point blowout. This is fantastic. The only thing that would have made it better is if Trae Young was on the Hawks and they could have laughed at him all the way out of the building, but they didn't have an opportunity to do that because he's not even on that team anymore.
Yeah, Spike Lee made it to the game, and he was having a lot of fun with the Hawks crowd. That's for sure.
Oh, I bet he was. You're looking up some deep dive research on no name Knicks guys.
I'm trying to, like, you said Diawara, and I was like, I feel like I know a basketball player, but I don't remember a Mohamed Diawara. And then he's from France, so there would be no reason for me to know.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying to think of who it is that I would know from that. And then you
don't know
Jose
Tyler
Alvarado.
You don't know Tyler Kolek?
Is Jose Alvarado the same name as a relief pitcher too?
Yeah, there's definitely a relief pitcher named Jose Alvarado.
So then you got that.
Yeah.
So my brain is just like all over the place.
You don't know about Tyler Kolek and
I'm familiar with Tyler Kolek.
You know about his illiteracy.
I don't know about his illiteracy, which I don't think we're going to make a whole segment out of this, but early Friday shout out for the Book It program coming back.
I heard about this. Whoa, this is huge news.
It could have been our headline, I guess, for the day.
Is Pizza Hut bringing back good pizza?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
are they bringing back the checkerboard floors?
I don't know that they even really allow people to eat in their restaurant.
Yeah. Does anybody do they even have huts?
I feel like pizza places have largely just gone to the take and go model. They don't want you in there.
That's probably
in their building anymore, which is sad because the pizza buffet when I was younger was always.
Oh my God, the pride of going into the actual hut of pizza and handing them my certificate that said I read a book, and then they gave me a personal pan pizza. That is.
I feel like if they had that now, would that motivate you to read more books?
Oh yeah, for sure.
If
there is a reward,
do you think you get off page like 33 of the 90s?
Yeah, I'd probably move. I'd probably move on to the next chapter at least.
Yeah.
If there was a personal pan pizza at the end of every chapter.
Now you need one for every chapter?
That's probably what kids are going to do now with the new Book It program, because the kids these days and their participation trophies, they need a personal pan pizza at the end of every chapter.
You just announced that you needed it.
Well, I just want to go by the same rules that everybody else goes by.
That's fair.
Elsewhere, all right, Joey, go ahead. Say your piece. What's going on here? Is it possible that the Celtics were never actually that good to begin with, and they just get the 2 seed because they are one of the 3 teams in the NBA who tries in the regular season?
It seems that way. I will say they started out 0-3, and they haven't had a 3-game losing streak since that start of the season. When they started that season 0-3, I thought, okay, this is going to be a tough season for them. It's probably going to be a gap year or probably a low seed.
That's what everybody thought. I just kind of figured they were going to tank.
But yeah,
that's not what they do.
They thrived. They did well. The bench played great. They were one of the teams that tried, like you mentioned, Connor. Just yesterday, it went down. Everything went down on the. They missed a lot of bunnies in the first half. They missed a lot of free throws and then that led to
here's the thing:
Jaylen Brown getting into foul trouble. He leads the NBA in offensive fouls, and he had 3 fouls early in.
And it's never his. It's never his.
It's
fault.
not Giancarlo's fault.
Anybody who's ever committed an offensive foul in the NBA,
some of them were pretty questionable in my opinion.
Yeah,
I was not thrilled with the officiating crew in that game. Mark Davis.
Here's what's going to happen, Joey. The Celtics are going to win Game 7. And all of this will be a forgotten memory.
Yeah, but I'm looking ahead since the Knicks.
The consternation that Joey feels about
Hawks.
the rest difference is already quite high.
This is true, Joey.
It is true. But
I'm alerting us to this yesterday when I asked how he would feel if it went to a Game 7. He immediately went into the difference of rest that the Knicks would have if they.
I'm gonna be monitoring the NBA officiating crew reports tomorrow morning, and I hope I don't see a particular person in there.
I have an observation.
Okay.
From having watched more NBA recently than I have all year.
All right.
And then having watched more college basketball recently than I have in many years. This is my observation.
You love talking about fouls.
I would really have a tough time. I don't know. how anybody watches the NBA and knows what is a foul and what isn't a foul. One, the nonstop pace of everything, like
It's
just
so fast.
Yeah.
and then watching like the Nuggets and the Wolves, I think is even more sped up than
Mhm.
some of these other ones. But it like everything looks like a foul. Everything potentially could be a foul. You have no idea what they might call a foul. I saw a moving screen, but it was also like they called it, but it's also like there's probably 3 on every offensive play because they're just moving all the time.
It's amazing.
It's just dependent on when they
so
call these
I think
fouls.
NBA. So what I
consistency.
was going to get at is, I think being an NBA official would be more difficult than officiating any other sport.
I was just gonna.
The movement and the pace and everything is out of this world.
Well, and the players are so good at making things look like fouls.
Yeah.
They're like
Particular
really,
person.
really, really good at that now. So
Rudy Gobert's fingertip touched Jokic's nose, and Jokic threw his head back like he was hit, like with a straight up punch.
Jokic is a rough look because he goes too far in that he has gone too far in that direction now.
He's done it.
But
the
NBA
NBA
refs,
he never got touched.
The
And
NBA
so I
refs
give
are
him
so
credit,
good.
like he actually legitimately got hit, but live it just looked like there was a gap of space. It wasn't.
Until you actually watch it, you really sit down and you're not just thinking about the narratives or watching clips or whatever, or like whatever it might be, however people take in the NBA. You'll watch it and you'll be like, wait a minute, hold on. Is this basketball nirvana? Like these guys are so good. Everything is so like high quality, and it almost breaks your brain at how good they are at basketball.
So continuous movement is something that like when you get the right teams, it's not like this again. I think for everybody. So like the possessions that the Wolves and the Nuggets would have back to back, where it's Cam Johnson has a shot up about 6 seconds into them having the ball, drains it from 35 feet. The Wolves have already come back down and scored in about 9 seconds. Then we're back on the other end for, like a Murray layup miss.
Yeah.
Then we're back for a Jaden McDaniels floater in the lane. Like it is so ping pongish when there's not fouls. That's why it's so noticeable when it starts to get foul happy. Like you lose that flow, it bogs it down. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is less exciting than when it's just back and forth, obviously.
So I don't know if you saw on Twitter, but someone made an 8-minute compilation of OKC just getting to the free throw line, just ways they like make things look like a foul.
Not fun.
Yeah.
So having watched the finals last year, I don't know that I would need
I don't even know if I think it's just from the Phoenix series, to be honest with you.
I did watch
four
four
games
too.
Yeah, I barely watched any of that series. I just know what was going to happen.
I'm probably up to about closing in on like 20 quarters of NBA basketball so far here. In the playoffs.
There we go.
Just randomly having it on at night.
The NBA's proclamation after last night, it was that Nikola Jokic is no longer the best guy in the NBA because you can't lose a series in the first round as a favorite to the Timberwolves, who don't have Anthony Edwards. That's not
or Dante Vincenzo.
That's not allowed. Which I honestly have a hard time disagreeing.
Last night didn't play.
Yeah, he didn't play.
The Nuggets probably need to do some version of blowing it up. Like I don't know what that is. Is it no Murray and Jokic? Is it no Jokic? Is it no Murray?
How do you move on from Jokic?
Is it both of them with just completely different supporting cast around him? Like I don't know what they do. Definitely
they still have Aaron Gordon.
Let me say this. Definitely not David Adelman. That guy is not a coach of basketball. He is a baby. He's a baby boy.
Every time
coaching the NBA's Denver Nuggets.
The Minnesota coach to the Denver coach, and it's like, wait, why is the strength and conditioning guy up?
No, that's their real life coach.
That's hilarious.
That's their real life coach. He should not have been their coach. I don't know why they fired Michael Malone, but they did, and they moved on, and they went to the next thing. And
Still
this was not the right. This was not the right.
Early
answer.
last night, it felt like it was going to be the Cam Johnson game because he was just on fire.
Yeah,
like absolutely on fire. And then it became the Terrence Shannon game for a little bit. He was really good, and then Jaden McDaniels took over.
And then it became the Timberwolves advancing game, and they had
what a night for Minneapolis.
They had it popping up in the Target Center last night.
Yeah, it was
and hockey beat
loud.
Dallas as well, so they won their series 4-2.
It's all coming up, Minnesota.
An impressive night for the Twin Cities.
And today the announcement
And the
is
Twins won a game.
the Vikings cut 9.
Well, I was a little
parade!
annoyed that the Wild win. I don't care about the Wild at all, but the Vikings Twitter account, the very first thing I see is JJ McCarthy over celebrating at a Wild game.
9.
Did he have his eye black on?
He didn't actually. That's how I had to double check to see if it was even him.
Sort of surprising. By the way, on personal pan pizzas, Mike writes in, the kids today will get a personal pan pizza for watching a number of TikToks.
It's actually be a great promotion.
It's called Talk It.
from Pizza Hut. Don't give them that idea.
No, please don't. All right, let's take a break. Our city of the day is coming up, where we get topical and we head to the land of whiskey and horses. It's Louisville, Kentucky. After this on 1620 The Zone.
We learned this city. We learned this city on Hap and Schaefer. Learned this city. We learned this city on Hap and Schaefer.
All right, let's learn about Louisville, Kentucky. Have you been? Is question number one. Have you been?
Yes.
Have you been, Joe?
No, I've never been into the state of Kentucky.
Ooh, you need to go to my old Kentucky home. I've been there, and it's nice. I didn't really enjoy the nightlife or anything like that, but I think we were driving through on one of the family truckster vacations. And stopped at the Bat Museum, saw Churchill Downs.
So you've been to the Bat Museum?
I've been to the Bat Museum.
Nice.
I saw the bats. I think I got something. I don't know if I wasn't a full-on bat, but I definitely got a souvenir from the museum. I don't think the Louisville Bats, the baseball team, were in town at the time.
Disappointing.
Well, although we definitely would have done that.
Yeah.
For sure. So one of the first things on that you find about Louisville, if you're on their Wikipedia page, is the ongoing debate about the pronunciation of the city. So there are, the most popular ones are Louisville, Louisville, and Louisville. Hopefully I made enough of a distinction between the first and the third one there. All three are generally considered acceptable. The Louisville Visitors Center says that only the rare Louisville is completely unacceptable, though it is the correct pronunciation for the names of several minor cities that have that name, notably Louisville, Nebraska. There are also acceptable hybrid ways of saying the name, such as Louisville, a mixture of the first and the second pronunciations. Louisville pronunciation is the dominant local pronunciation. Some even refer to it as the only correct way to pronounce the name of the city. Louisville, while respecting the proper pronunciation of the name of the French king who gave Louisville its name, is significantly less common amongst locals. It is, however, frequently used by those not from the area. In 2001, a local journalist and historian, George H. Yater, noted that older natives tended toward the second pronunciation, which is Louisville, and that both the first and the second pronunciations were used equally in local radio and television broadcasting. However, new personalities were taught that the first one, Louisville, was correct.
Yep. Look, that's a big part of the city's ethos is that people don't know how to pronounce its name.
I do get mad when people say Louisville. That I will say that. I'm not even from Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville.
What do you got? What's Al say?
Here's your quick 30 seconds on Louisville. Louisville population around 630,000 is best known as the home of the Kentucky Derby, held every year at Churchill Downs.
People
Founded
forget.
in 1778 along the Ohio River. It grew into a major shipping and bourbon hub and still plays a key role in both industries today. It's also the hometown of Muhammad Ali and a city obsessed with basketball. Louisville blends Southern tradition with Midwestern grit. And for 2 minutes every May, it's the center of the sports world.
And that day is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Unless you're a huge fan of the Kentucky Oaks, which is today, right? Or was that yesterday?
The Oaks are the locals, basically. The locals love the Oaks.
The locals love the Oaks. It is really cool. I love it. It's a really, really well-produced event, like by NBC.
Oh, yeah.
It looks great.
You can tell it's not their Super Bowl, but they put a ton of effort into it. It's an incredibly well-run event. It is one of those that's fascinating because you see all reaches of society in this sporting event in a way that you really don't in a lot of other.
It's everybody.
Like I watched two women fight over
you went to the race.
Yeah, I watched them fight over a shirt because it was the last one in that size, and it's probably like an $8 shirt with a $2 logo marked up to $45. And these women are in like fancy hats and everything fighting over this shirt. Like it's the wildest experience.
Potential hot take. I don't like when it rains at the Derby. I like when it's nice.
Yeah, when
Nice
I was
and
there,
sunny.
it rained that day, which didn't matter as much for me given where I was at. But like, yeah, I would rather it's nice.
I like the colors.
I get that people like the aesthetics of the mud and sort of what it looks like when you're not there, but I agree with you. I think it takes away from the like the overall pageantry of it and the sort of color explosion you get when it's really nice.
Top employers in the city of Louisville. I had this before. By the way, I did not know that Louisville had a UFL team, which apparently that they do, and that is new this year. Top employers: UPS, the United Parcel Service.
Oh wow,
Look at that.
Number one, Norton Healthcare, and then
they
some
border
healthcares.
up with Kentucky borders up with FedEx headquarters. I think they're in Memphis.
That's right. They are indeed. And so there you go. That's some of the things that are going on in Louisville. And then there's also the question of, did Creighton have a horrific NCAA tournament loss in your town? Answer here is
Yes.
never been more sure. Yes.
This is where that sounder would play. We also have another question we have to ask, and the answer is very obviously yes.
What's the question?
Would Matt McMaster live here?
Absolutely.
This, between the horses and the bourbon
Yep.
and the general nature of Louisville.
Any town that makes its sort of name off of horse racing, or certainly bourbon, whiskey, whatever. Yeah, it's a great town for Matt.
No, it would be.
So that's two in a row.
I don't think he's been though.
I don't know. I don't think so. No.
I think I asked him earlier.
Two in a row for Matt. He had he was an absolute
Pittsburgh
shoe in for Pittsburgh last week, and he is an absolute shoe in for Louisville this
I think
week.
our goal is to go a little bit off the beaten path next week if we can do it.
Yeah,
We're
not
back-to-back
such a
kind of
major
larger
city.
cities, event-based things going on.
Okay,
we can do it. I believe in us.
I do too. Well, we'll see if we'll see what comes up. So enjoy the great sights of Louisville, Kentucky for the Kentucky Derby coming up this weekend. Signalar writes in Matt McHorsey.
Matt McHorsey.
That's basically what he turns into this week.
Matt McPneumonia. I had to really look at how I was going to say that before I said it on air yesterday.
Sort of confusing.
There's a lot happening in that.
There's that P that just kind of throws everybody off. Gus Mohawk writes in, the greatest athlete of all time is from Louisville. His name is Muhammad Ali.
Greatest athlete of all time.
Yes, he was.
And I think you could probably
He's
make
got
a good
case.
case for it. Yeah.
He's definitely got a case.
Would you like to know how many murders Louisville had in 2021?
You want to know the
I've already been
interstates?
blessed with this information.
188.
It's more if you'd like to let the people know what's happening in Louisville crime.
188 murders.
Just take I-64 and you'll get away from it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I-64 or I-65.
Louisville hosts one of the largest fireworks shows.
Oh,
wow.
In America.
All right.
Thunder over Louisville.
We love fun facts here on this show. All right, let's take a break. That's our city of the day, ladies and gentlemen. We'll come back. 7 o'clock hour up next on 1620 The Zone. It's another baseball weekend around these parts, except for none of our Division I baseball teams are in town this weekend. Nebraska gone, Creighton gone, Omaha gone, and they'll all take to the road this weekend. So without further ado, it's our weekly game that will last for another like 3 weeks until the season basically ends. Over under on combined Nebraska Creighton wins this weekend. Nebraska at Ohio State, Creighton at St. John's. We're going to put the number, we're going to move it down one. We're going to put the number at 3.5 this weekend. We had it at 4.5 last weekend. The bookmaker thought maybe we could go we could push it up a little bit higher. Kept it at 4.5. Both of the bettors, the two bettors took the over. And ended up coming in with that bet due to Nebraska's 2 out of 3 win against Illinois and Creighton's sweep of Butler. So we're going to put it at 3.5 this week. Nebraska with a road series at Ohio State, which looks really similar on paper to the one that they played last weekend against Illinois, and Creighton with a huge series,
which looks nothing like the one they played last week against Butler.
No, really not at all. Yeah, really not at all. I mean, at least we could get into it in a second, but yeah, 3.5 is the number. Where we going?
I'm still taking the over. I think both teams win 2 out of 3.
Wow.
So you get your 4.
Wow. Joey, you'd like overs?
I do love overs.
Do you like? What if I put it at 4.5?
I like the chances.
Whoa! What if I put it at 5.5?
No.
Do you think they're both sweeping this weekend?
No.
So if Creighton sweeps, then I did a Big East baseball tweet thread, by the way, yesterday.
Whoa.
I know nobody really cares about this, but like if Creighton sweeps this weekend, they are 3 games up on everybody basically for first place.
How many left to play?
In the conference with 6, 2 weekends left.
They have Georgetown and they have
Xavier. What was I going to say?
I do not know.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm sorry. UConn and Xavier are off this weekend. They are out of conference this weekend. They played each other early, so
who are they playing? What's their out of conference series for each?
UConn has East Tennessee State.
Oh, I was hoping it'd be something fun.
And it's not. And Xavier has somebody. It's both of the teams are sort of in that realm, or something like that.
That's disappointing.
They're both 10-5 right now in the league. So the path, should it not be a Creighton sweep this weekend, the path really opens back up for UConn, who beat Creighton 2 out of 3 earlier to start Big East play. And then obviously Xavier still plays Creighton down the stretch in the final weekend of the regular season in the Cincinnati area, or in Cincinnati and then in the Cincinnati area. And so Creighton has a chance to really put their stamp on the Big East this weekend. It'll be a tough series. I think they're pretty good. I think this is probably the marquee series of the year in the conference. It's unfortunate that it's in Queens and that it'll, the game's at 3. The first game's at 3 today. And it won't feel like there's a whole lot of stakes to it. But I think these are 2 pretty good baseball teams. And as I mentioned in the thread yesterday, you have and we've been talking about on the show for a few weeks now. You have your top 4 in the Big East. You have your bottom 4 in the Big East. It's pretty well defined at this point. How well you do against the bottom 4 is going to at least make up a lot of, it's going to make up a lot of where you end up at the end of the year. Creighton has played tied for the most games against the bottom 4 than anybody in the Big East right now, but they haven't lost one. They're 9-0. They've beat Villanova, Butler, and Seton Hall each. Georgetown is the team next weekend. So if they could go 12-0 in those games, they will have a leg up on their opponents who are jockeying for position in that top 4. All of UConn, Xavier, and St. John's has lost to one of, and it was either Butler or Georgetown. Seton Hall and Villanova aren't beating anybody. All right, they're not beating anyone other than themselves. And then if Georgetown or Butler can pick off wins down the stretch, that could change the chemistry of where things are at in the top 4. I don't think it changes the chemistry on who is in the top four.
Yeah. Okay.
And so that's sort of where we're at right
Would
now.
you like to know the promotion that St. John's is running to try to get people to the ballpark this weekend?
Yeah, I would. I would really like to know, actually.
The Johnnies are challenging St. John's fraternities and sororities to pack the Jack this weekend.
All right.
The organization that brings the most members across the weekend will get a chance to take batting practice at Jack Kaiser Stadium next week.
Whoa.
Fans can also pick up their very own Red Storm baseball hat during the third inning of Friday and Saturday's game.
That's awesome.
3 hats and a chance for
Nice.
batting practice.
That's exciting.
Pretty good, right?
Pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Pretty
So
good.
hopefully there's a festive atmosphere for the game.
Maybe we could redeem ourselves, Schaefer.
I have not been out to
Oh,
their
yeah,
to their location.
There's no redeeming. My body's so broken down, it's even,
Oh
it'd be
yeah,
even worse.
you guys should go to Queens and try and get on the field for some BP.
I would love to go to Queens. I'd probably just find my way to a Mets game at that point, though.
Probably a better call.
Find your
I'll
way.
be
Although the
Find
Mets
your way to see Frank
might
the Tank.
suck just as bad as you
Mets
know.
bad.
Yeah.
They bad.
You can go see your boy Trevor Bauer and the Long Island Ducks.
They're terrible.
I'd rather go see the Cyclones. I'll avoid Long Island.
The Brooklyn Cyclones.
Yeah, give me the
You're gonna
Brooklyn
go to
Cyclones.
Coney Island to watch a baseball game. Are you
I
gonna get a
would.
Nathan's hot dog?
I would definitely do that.
Yeah.
I've been to Coney Island. I had a Nathan's hot dog. It was a tremendous experience.
It really is.
Like
It's,
I
you can
get-
really see it.
I understand it's a tourist trap. It's fun. I had
Oh
fun.
no, I would always
The
encourage
point of
people.
things that you when you like.
Yes,
I never understand this when people go somewhere and they're like, oh, I don't want to go to the tourist trap.
I would always encourage people to go to the tourist traps.
go have fun.
Go to the tourist
Go
traps.
enjoy something.
Absolutely.
Like nobody's gonna give you bonus points if you come back and you're like, I never saw the Empire State Building. I never went to Times Square. I never like
Just get
What
your
did
slice
you
of
do?
pizza.
Now I will say you probably don't need to do it more than
no.
once.
You do it once,
Yeah.
you've done it forever.
Go to Times
Yep.
Square and see the weird.
Yeah, I
red
don't need to go back to
seats
Times Square.
And
If I do, great.
look
but
at all the lights,
Yeah.
and then
no,
that's
I
it.
get that.
And then go to Coney Island once, or go to the Statue of Liberty
Sure.
once, and then that's it. And then when you go back for like your 5th or 6th trip, then you could really start like doing whatever.
Sure.
You have a pretty good idea of what you like.
I
at
just
that
mean
point.
the people that like feel like they try too hard to tell you that they don't do anything when they go somewhere like that. Always blows my mind.
No, I'm with you.
You know,
Go to
go
Coney
enjoy
Island.
the stuff. Go to the Met.
Go to a St. John's baseball game.
Go to Jack Kaiser Stadium.
That's a tourist thing.
Pretend like you're part of a fraternity or a sorority and get the chance for batting.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they'll just let you in. There's no doubt about that.
I kind of think they will. Yeah.
It's a huge series. For as much as Big East baseball is not is not much of a hot topic around here. It is a giant series this weekend between those two teams, and it'll go a long way in deciding who wins the conference at the end of the day. And we'll see. It's going to be a one big bid league in the conference, and so you want to get as good a position as you can have. At the same time, like I said, it's going to be each of those 4 teams at the Big East tournament, and so
Just
you're
in some order.
you're kind of just going to have to play it out from there. But yeah, you want the order to be well, because I think what it looks like to me, and this is me not having seen all of them, the 4th team, who is in my opinion Xavier, does seem to be a half a step worse than the
a
other.
bit of a
3.
drop off.
Yes,
You give yourself a better advantage then at that point.
that would be my.
Who's starting
analysis.
for Creighton on Friday night?
Jack Pino,
Okay.
the Big East pitcher of the week.
He's going to get Liam O'Leary,
Yeah.
the press release tells
So these guys, the Butler does the same thing. They'll throw these dudes out there for like 150 pitches, so they don't even care. The O'Leary guy's good, and then I would believe it would be the Chafee guy tomorrow for them. Is that
Yep,
right?
Evan Chafee.
Yeah. And so those guys are pretty good.
Sunday's TBD.
They're horrible on Sundays.
Okay.
They've gotten run ruled each of the last 2 Sundays.
Ooh.
And like they got beat by Georgetown on a Sunday, I think.
I'm
Like
feeling better about this over.
so like
3.5.
this is the information that I needed to arm you with. There is an automatic win that should theoretically be in there for Creighton on Sunday. Can you get a split in the other 2? The other 2 matchups are really, really difficult. I got to be honest with you. And it's going to be hard to go out there and win.
Chafee's a lefty.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to go out there and win, but we'll see how Creighton's pitching stacks up against some of the best in the Big East, and we'll see how Creighton's offense, stacks up as well. I think their lineup is pretty good. Sindelar writes on, "Sit down, Billy. Back in the dugout, Billy." That's you'll learn about the Big East baseball lore.
Yeah, I'm already just trying to find my way into the basketball. I just learned about the
Tyler Kolek and not
The
being able to
reading,
read. Yeah.
No, I see these things
That's
in the
been an ongoing
StreamYard
thing.
or in the YouTube comments, and I'm like, all right, well,
Yeah, if something ever comes up and you're like, what's going on here? Just let me know. I'd be happy to
it could be
explain
a
it.
good summer segment. Schaefer learns the Big East.
Schaefer learns about the
Welcome
Big
to
East.
the Big East, Schaefer.
Yeah, that's good. You want to know more about Ed Cooley and how you should respect him?
Usually, I mean, I've picked up enough on that one.
Okay. Divine Providence. Do we know about that one?
No.
Okay. How do you look in orange? That whole thing. Okay. Good. We could put that one on the list for sure.
I mean, we did learn about, or I learned about the hex that was previously on UConn when they played Seton Hall, I believe.
Yeah, the Etsy Witch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good
so
one.
That was a thing here this past year.
Did you know that Nebraska fan did the Etsy Witch for I think it was for Rink Mast?
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there was that same witch did they recognized that there was some sort of a spell going on Rink Mast, and she released it.
Well,
Right
I mean,
prior
they
to the
should have done
NCAA
it
tournament.
before this Sweet 16 game. That would have
Yeah,
been
no,
helpful.
I think the spell must have run out by that point. But yeah, later in the season, they took the spell off of Rink Mast, which was nice.
Bummer.
Speaking of Nebraska basketball, they got a commitment yesterday from a guy named Damon. Yeah,
There's a new Damon in town.
Not a lot of athletes named Damon. The market is no longer cornered on
I texted
Damons.
old Damon to see how he felt about new Damon coming and taking his potential popularity.
He cannot be happy about this.
He hasn't responded, so I don't know.
I guess his show did. just start.
But I sent him the text before it started, so there was ample opportunity. Never mind. He did respond.
Okay,
There we go.
what's it?
I'll get rid of him. That doesn't sound good.
Watch out, Damon Wilkinson. You're going
Yeah,
down.
that's concerning.
You are going down.
Do not cross paths with Damon Bennett.
So
You might think to yourself, well, that's an Orange Bowl MVP. I'd like to meet him. You don't want to.
No, you don't. Do not talk to this person at all. He was basically the starting center for the Jacks last year. Was a pretty, I mean, we're talking about a true real life, like back to the basket center from what it appears here on from a statistical output.
He attempted 1 3-pointer and did not make it.
0 for 1.
So he is not the same as everything else that Nebraska has sought out. But I think it's a nice addition at the end of a portal haul. They had 2 spots left. You wanted to grab another big as one of them. Gives you a guy that you can put out there, hopefully for 8 minutes or so whenever you need it, and get a few rebounds, give a different look, give some rest, basically.
Love a bunch of dudes you could put out there who have different skill sets. I mean, I think that was what Nebraska has done with their last 2 like public editions here. This guy and then DeGorville. Like I love what they've done there because those 2 bring such a variety of different things to the table from what you already have.
Yeah.
Not that their skill sets are, they have variety dripping off of them, right? They kind of are what they are, but it's very, very different from the rest of your roster at this point, which I think should be pretty exciting. The more I think about the DeGorville guy, like I kind of get excited about him as a piece that they could put as a defender individually. I've just really found myself wondering about how they're going to piece it together on defense with the team that they have. And yeah, obviously they're going to be heavy scheme with what they do, but the DeGorville guy is an interesting piece to sort of deploy because he could guard 1 to 3 and probably maybe even a little bit further than that too. So that's pretty exciting. And then this guy could come in and foul some people, and then you got your match made in heaven. You got your team.
Yeah. I like it too because then it's just to alleviate some of the pressure off of Leo Curtis. Like you don't have to immediately have him be anything for you, so that can take some time. I think there's a lot.
You love talking about Leo Curtis.
I think he's going to be good. There's a lot of enthusiasm over there about kind of how it's looked in practice and everything, and maybe not immediately like this next year, but I think down the line there's a lot of hope for him.
Yeah.
So just having another big is certainly not a bad thing, and especially a guy that. Again, I've been big on talking about that the summit was down, and he's a double-digit scorer in the Summit. But just having someone that can come off the bench, he seems comfortable with what that role would be. You'd have him for 2 seasons if theoretically you can keep him for next year. I mean, it feels like a nice addition to what's been a pretty solid month for Nebraska. I mean, it got off to kind of a weird start with the Bear K news, and then from there, I think it hasn't been perfect, but it's been pretty good for Nebraska.
No, I think it's pretty manageable what they've done, and like I said, the thing that we've talked about throughout this period of time with Nebraska basketball is like, okay, how high were your dreams if you were expecting them to go out and do something really really special in the transfer portal? It just probably wasn't ever going to happen that
Their
way.
biggest moves were always going to be retention of their time. Like everything else was built around that.
Yeah, and so I don't want people to forget that. Like that is really important. Now it's not only that you've got these, Orm and Lenhart.
Say it
and
how you want to say it.
Sam Orm and Trevin Lenhart and Kapke and DeGorville and Wilkinson. I guess Caden Betts as well. Like that doesn't blow you off of the page there, but when you add it with Frager and Sanford, like, yeah, that looks a whole hell of a lot better than like that being your team is one thing. That being your team with 2 established pieces is a completely different thing. And so that's an important piece to note, I think.
Yeah. No, I think, like I said, good. I think, same with Creighton. Like, I feel like for the most part, you have to be pretty happy with how they've turned that thing over, what they were able to keep, and then what they've added to it with Enos and everything else.
Yeah, I think they've done a pretty good job. Both teams have done a pretty good job. There's no doubt about that. So we'll see how it works out. Now you got to go to work and figure out how you're gonna make it connect, right? Because that's ultimately the thing. Let's take a break. We will come back and have more for you after this on 1620 The Zone. All right. So speaking of basketball, I feel like this was a pretty fascinating story yesterday. So did you see what Duke is doing, folks? Duke.
I know they get big name players on their team.
That is true. They're still attempting to do that. But did you see another thing that they were doing?
I saw that they are set to play Michigan in a non-conference game.
Yes.
Which they did this past year.
But there's something special about it.
It's in a neutral site.
Yes.
Are they-
Joey, you should be interested as well. Schedules. Now that I have everybody's attention.
Did someone say schedules?
Yes, someone did say schedules. So Duke is doing something unique. And I think this is kind of potentially a game changer as far as, well, we'll see how far it goes. So Duke is going to play UConn in Vegas on November 25th, Michigan at Madison Square Garden on December 21st, and Gonzaga on February 20th in Detroit. They have also tied in Amazon Prime Video to broadcast these games.
Wow.
Now, how have they done this, right? That was my first question. What do you mean? How is this possible? Duke doesn't sell their own rights. That's not how college sports work. Well,
For now.
in this case, yes.
Ask Texas.
So keep
Hold
that.
on to that point.
Hold on to that point.
Okay. File it away.
Keep that in the old holster. So Duke apparently negotiated with the ACC, their conference, and ESPN, their rights holder, on future scheduling commitments in exchange for the ability to play these 3 neutral site games, including participating in select ESPN-owned and operated neutral site events, not this coming year, but the year after, and then the year after. So basically, they said, here's what we want to do. We'll play in a couple of your stupid, idiotic events we'll go on national TV and we'll do everything. But we want to take these 3 one-off games and we want to sell them to Amazon Prime and then play them at our own leisure. And they said, deal. They said, okay, which is, I think, fascinating from a variety of different angles, including the one that you listed. As reading in the ESPN story, this move will raise eyebrows around college sports. The deal could end up marking a harbinger for the future. I never know how to say that word. As streamers are expected to be more aggressive in acquiring rights in upcoming collegiate sports rights decisions. And so Prime or Duke Athletic Director Nina King said this: in addition to our outstanding partnership with ESPN, we're excited to work with Prime Video on this groundbreaking initiative. As Prime Video's first college sports partner, this collaboration not only expands the global reach of Duke men's basketball, it also creates meaningful opportunities for our student athletes. What do you mean, meaningful opportunities for our student athletes? Aha! Of course, there's an NIL component to all of this. So players will be able to promote these individual games and tell people to watch on Amazon Prime. And while the future retail partnership could potentially present other avenues. So in a college sports era, reading from the story again, in which schools are under pressure to find money to pay players outside of the revenue share cap, approximately $20.5 million for this season, and increasing by 4% each of the next 2 years, while also remaining compliant with the College Sports Commission, Duke's agreement with Amazon allows the program to generate real NIL opportunities for its players. They basically, for all intents and purposes, made their own Players Era festival. Is kind of how I'm reading into this here, which, like I said, is fascinating from a variety of different angles.
They made their own festival, but I would assume they're getting a significant chunk of money for these 3 games.
Indeed.
Like, I don't know what the value is exactly to Amazon for 3 non-conference basketball games, but you have the single biggest college basketball brand.
I think so.
One of the 3 biggest. I mean, I can't imagine it goes lower than 3.
No.
Kentucky being in there. I mean, you could argue whatever you want, I guess. But
yeah, you could put any one of the blue bloods.
I think it has to
Duke
include
always
Duke and Kentucky,
is in the top tier. Yeah.
So this is a very fascinating, thing. We've seen at least one school attempt something like this at one point in time with the Longhorn Network. Not this exactly, but attempt to kind of, own and utilize their own broadcast rights in a unique way. This is kind of smart.
Mildly surprised. It's very smart. And I'm mildly
The other way, it's a vehicle, it's a conduit to get the players that money that you don't have to like you can easily justify.
That's why
that.
teams automatically say yes to the players era.
Right.
Because they could funnel it through. It's
Right.
like, hey, we got to make an appearance or whatever,
Mhm.
but that's it. We don't actually have to quote unquote do anything
Right.
To get the $1 million that we get from being in the players era. And so I think that's really, really important. Especially for an ACC school, it doesn't have like this significant
Treasure trove
football
of,
television contract, even though it is, still relatively big. And then back to what you mentioned before, I'm mildly surprised that the ACC let them do this, even though, this is the equivalent of Ohio State in football going outside of their Fox television contract within the Big Ten Conference and saying, no, we're a really big brand and we're going to schedule on our own. And, it's not like they're strong arming. They agreed with the conference, which in theory opens up a lot of eyes across the country for other super high major, blue blood programs, including but not limited to Ohio State football, including but not limited to Michigan football. So where they can go out and say, whoa, Duke basically put aside their rights deal for 3 games, did their own thing, and sold the game, quote unquote, themselves, and are getting an NIL revenue share off an NIL, avenue off of this as well. This is great. Why don't we do this right now? This is like a secret pathway to the big red button that I always talk about, of teams just wanting to get, deciding, we don't have to do it the same way as some of our other conference mates do it because we're better than them and we could sell our own rights and it would go for $1 billion.
In theory, if you could get an Ohio State that can get an agreement with the Big Ten and then pick another, large school from a different conference, put it on a non-conference game, and Netflix wants to pay a bunch of money for it, like that, it seems like an avenue for all of this. And you would get even more given that it's a football game.
Yep.
I mean, it would be
like I said, I can't believe that the ACC and ESPN said yes to this.
Yeah, and I would imagine the Big Ten would say no before Fox.
Oh, you would have to.
There's no way Fox is giving up one of their opportunities to broadcast.
But then that brings up the question of, all right, well then is that when Ohio State or Michigan or whatever gets really serious about saying, like, no, you can't strong arm us. I mean, you need us.
Yeah.
And so I think that leads to another set of unfortunate possibilities that lead to more destabilization of conferences and teams and NIL and stuff like that.
I think you need.
But this one went over okay.
I don't know if just a singular team would have enough, even at Ohio State. Like,
Maybe.
what would you ultimately do? Pull out of the conference?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I guess that would be the end result.
Somewhere to go. Like, there's got to be other aspects of this that would have to come together for it.
Yeah, it's not like they wouldn't have anywhere to go.
Well, sure, there would be opportunities to go elsewhere, but you would immediately be harmed. It'd be self-harm to do so.
I don't know. Like, if they became independent tomorrow, which
they're gonna fund their like 50 athletic.
Yeah, but which TV network is not jumping at the deal to exclusively carry Ohio State games?
No, I mean, it makes me wonder if, like, what the legalese in those contracts would be to be able to televise their games immediately.
Yeah, there's definitely stopping points.
Like, there would be this dead period in between where they couldn't be shown or whatever else.
So we heard about this I never thought about it from this perspective. I only thought about it from the individual one-off game perspective last year. There was a whole bunch of them a year ago. The Duke Michigan game in DC, which is one of the biggest games of the regular season. They always did the stuff.
Ohio State randomly played Virginia the week before.
Yeah,
nobody knew this game happened.
This does feel like a trend that is about to. It's going to continue to bubble up here in college basketball. Just from a scheduling perspective, the TV part is the interesting new twist, I think, to all of it, and leads to a whole bunch of different questions that get asked like this. But I do think we're going to see a lot of these one-off games that get sold to television networks, and you can make a big deal out of it if you put it on the right day, and if it's two big enough brands, and all of a sudden you got yourself something here. This is going to be a thing in college basketball.
I kind of wish that there was just like a weekend that college basketball just set aside. Like there's no, you can, whatever conferences can have conference games if they want, but I like the idea of more non-conference games in February between like relatively marquee teams. Because I was excited to watch that Duke Michigan game when that came around, partly because I had just uncovered this new sicko lifestyle of college basketball.
You loved it.
I think I would enjoy more of that. And we talked about this before with the bracket buster games. I remember that when I was younger, those were great. You get Memphis somebody, you would get Gonzaga somebody, like those were always sort of interesting.
Absolutely. I love bracket buster games.
Yeah. So the
bracket
idea
buster
of bringing
games in
that
my
back
life
would be a ton of fun.
So here's Debo. He says, I don't understand this deal at all. How does Duke have the rights to do this? Why don't UConn or Gonzaga, do the other teams playing in these games, get NIL off of it? So if Debo is talking about the teams that they're playing, yes, I'm sure there's room inside of the space inside of the deal.
I'm guessing they benefit from this too. They're
100%.
just not benefiting 3 different times.
Right.
So for them, it's an easy yes.
How does Duke have the rights to this? Yeah, we talked about it a little bit. They negotiated with their conference to be able to take these games and go outside of the purview of the conference to be able to basically sell them individually, which is fascinating. Like I said, I do wonder what they gave up, like specifically what they gave up here. It was mentioned in the ESPN story that they're going to tie them to some ESPN events going forward. Obviously, ACC and the ESPN work together hand in hand. That's the home of the ACC. And so they'll have to play in, 1 or 2 events down the road that are ESPN run events for the right to make a whole bleep ton of money and get a whole bleep ton of exposure in these 3 one-off games this year and fund their NIL for a while as well. This is a great deal if you could do it. Not every school in the country could do it. Duke is one of very few who can.
Yeah, I was going to say basketball has an even smaller list than I would imagine football.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's a really unique thing. And for us as just casuals, it gives you good games to watch at different times. Theoretically good games to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even thinking about I'm excited to watch these games, because there's enough big games in college basketball and in the non-con where you're going to get good matchups and whenever. I'm interested in this from the TV standpoint and how they were able to sort of go outside of their deal, and then potentially what that leads to going forward. I think it's a truly fascinating story. All right, let's we got a few more minutes here. I wanted to bring this story to your attention. We're going to do Friday shout outs after a little while. I'd like to add a Friday shout out.
Ooh.
Shout out to Orioles broadcaster and Hall of Famer, of course, Jim Palmer.
Oh, okay.
Did you see what Jim Palmer did yesterday for the very first time in his life?
Yeah, so I know what this stems from. It was from an appearance a year ago where he said, basically, if the Orioles hit a grand slam while he's on the broadcast, he will eat a chicken wing as he had never had one before.
80 years, 197 days. Jim Palmer, Hall of Fame pitcher and Orioles broadcaster, had never eaten a chicken wing until yesterday. Adley Rutschman hit a grand slam, and then the Orioles hit another grand slam, by the way, in the game as well. And sure enough, Jim Palmer was forced to eat a chicken wing during the broadcast. Not that he disliked chicken wings. He'd just really never run into a chicken wing before.
Okay.
Did you see the Husker connection to this?
I did, because
forward?
I was going to ask if you saw the Husker connection to this.
So on Adley Rutschman's grand slam, Bryce Williams, former Husker and Astros, was playing center field that day, yesterday. Should have robbed it, except for he just ran into the wall and the ball was jarred loose from his glove. Yeah. And so That was the grand slam that made Jim Palmer eat a chicken wing. Then they hit another. Here was his assessment of the chicken wing.
Oh, yeah.
And I quote, "It's a lot of skin. That's all I can tell you. They're greasy, by the way. Can't eat them with a microphone." And so he kind of kept moving his microphone on and off. "Actually, these are pretty good. Look what I've missed all these years." Once again, that's an 80-year-old man eating a chicken wing for the very first time.
Kind of sad that all of those years went by without experiencing the glorious.
That's funny.
Wings.
See, I don't think about the sad part. I think about the joy and the wonder of what it must be like to eat a chicken wing for the very first time at age 80. Like, I think about there's very few things that I like haven't done.
Sure.
And to go back and think of, man, if I could only remember the first time that I like ate a strawberry, you know, I never realized that it was my first time eating a strawberry, but I must have enjoyed that so much.
You were probably a wee little lad.
Probably.
You probably asked for more.
Think about the joy and the wonder of eating one of your favorite foods again for the first time. Have you ever thought to yourself, well, I wish I could eat a hamburger again for the first time all over again?
Man, Josh Peterson could relive eating his first cheeseburger.
Yeah, Josh Peters. That was like 4 years ago for Josh.
Yeah, that's nuts. 4 years ago, he had a burger.
I could relive my first adventure with California Pizza Kitchen.
See, that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to go down that road. You
I know.
Is there a food that you wish you could try again for the first time,
man.
Joey?
It's probably got to be some sort of a steak or something.
A steak.
That actually, I would like to have a redo on my first ever steak because undoubtedly my dad made it and it was overdone. As all of the steaks
medium
were.
rare.
There's a lot of things that are acquired.
Under seasoned and overdone. That was the childhood.
There's a lot of things that are acquired taste. There's a lot of things that you don't figure out how to actually do it until you've had it 4 or 5 times. I think steak is probably one of them. I definitely was against the idea of steak as a young lad. And then I'm like, oh, actually I can make this really, really good and the way I like it. And so, yeah, now you love steak.
Yeah, steak was like one of those when I had it out for the first time, like away from my father's lack of grilling skills. It was like, oh, this is an entirely different experience than what I would have a couple times a year, you know, coming off our back deck in Columbus.
Life changes. The eyes open. Jim Palmer at age 80, his eyes opened a little bit more yesterday, eating a chicken wing for the very, very first time. All right, we'll take a break. We will be back with the headlines after this on 1620 The Zone.
I didn't have my first wing until I
All right, folks. Who knows what we'll learn today? Possums with their shock collars. Or not shock collars. Getting eaten by snakes, just collars.
They're being it's a way of tracking the pythons or something.
What may we learn today? Let's find out. Joey, what do we got?
Okay, first headlines over in Tennessee. A helicopter complicates morning drop-off at Tennessee school.
Okay. Interesting.
I would like to know if the helicopter was just dropping off a child for school.
Have you ever been around a helicopter?
No, and I have no desire.
Like I've never been in one, but I've been around one as like actively like
You saw one land?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. It was kind of crazy.
It's
like watching it is actually absurd.
well, the whipping and the noises.
Yeah.
I'm just amazed how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm like,
the mechanics of how it actually works.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Scary feeling.
So I've never been in a helicopter. I'd be a little scared.
Yeah.
So as a Happer and Schaefer experience, would you sign up for a helicopter ride?
Oh no.
If someone's like, hey, we want to take out the Happer and Schaefer guys for a helicopter ride.
Which one? What is it like a
Would it be just for our future city of the day spotlight?
like we just go with a guy and
Yeah.
the guy no, I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't do it.
hey,
No.
we want you to spotlight our
What
city.
if it's an accomplished person that can fly it? You still just know.
I would need to see some credentials.
Okay. Well, how would you know if the credentials are good or not?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't
Just
know.
gotta watch them fly.
I have to shake this person's hand. I want to shake
Okay.
your
I want to
hand.
shake your hand.
I would
I'm gonna work on getting us a helicopter ride.
What about the one in Vegas where they just do circles around the strip all day? Like I think I would probably do that. I've never seen anything bad happen to those guys.
Yeah, I'm sure that's fine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have. I would go on any helicopter ride. I have no issue.
No fears. Second story.
Okay, second story. Temple Terrace sterilizers cancer-linked gas haunts Tampa neighbors.
Whoa. Temple Terrace sterilizers cancer linked gas haunts Tampa. Cancer linked gas haunts Tampa neighbors.
That headline is confusing the
It
hell out
seems
of me.
very
it is.
overbearing. I'm going with the helicopter
I agree.
story. All
I
right.
think we were
Figured.
probably more than likely going with the helicopter, but
Buses and cars arriving at a Tennessee elementary school on Thursday morning had to work around an unusual obstacle in the parking lot. A helicopter. The Cheatham County School District said on social media that the helicopter was reported in the west parking lot at West Cheatham Elementary School early yesterday. Thank you for your patience and understanding this morning, they said, as we will be working around it for bus transportation and student drop-offs. Officials said they were in the process of having the chopper removed. Okay, I will read the story in full. The Cheatham County Sheriff's Office explained the medical helicopter's tail rotor collided with an empty gurney during takeoff, damaging the rotor, forcing the crew to make an emergency landing. The school parking lot was the best spot that could be quickly identified. A second medical helicopter was called to the scene to take the patient to the hospital. Wouldn't that be your luck if you were having a medical emergency and the helicopter smacked into something and then you had to get a second
a
helicopter?
gurney, like someone just didn't push the gurney far
Yeah.
enough away.
This is unfortunate.
Also, you hit the gurney, still went up in the air, got far enough away that you had to find a new place to come back down at.
I really hope that the patient was okay.
Same.
First of all,
Same.
that'd be a really tough one. It's like, yeah, we missed it by 6 minutes because we had to get a new helicopter because the flopper thing ran into the
Gonna be a
gurney.
weird episode of the pit when
Yeah.
this comes up.
Although this would cause a stir in school for several weeks.
Yeah.
Remember when the helicopter landed at the school? That would be a lot of
I would
fun.
assume they like went outside, all the kids got their chance to go look at the helicopter up close.
What was the biggest thing that happened at your school that caused a stir? I can think of a lot of things. I mean, mostly bad things, to be quite
Yeah,
honest
yeah,
with you.
I
But
don't know that there was
remember
like I'm
bad.
trying to think just from exclusively the elementary angle of it. I don't know that there was really anything that I can think of that would have been like a school-wide stir.
Yeah.
Class-wise, there was a couple times where like kids ran away,
oh yeah,
and that was always sort of fascinating. When you
I would
were
always
also a
wait for the
classmate.
crazy kid to freak out during one of the classes, just so.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we had that.
Yeah,
That was a daily.
There was a
occurrence,
couple of
but-
those at high school.
Yeah. No, the kid running away thing, and then you were like, man, what if you never see him again? How far could they actually get? And then they'd be
They'd
like
find
corralled and come back like an hour later.
Yeah, he'd be in
They,
class.
they
like,
come
made
back
it,
like
like,
nothing's
maybe
happened.
5 blocks away.
they just got him a juice box and he sat
Yeah.
down, and that's it. That's the story. Yeah, there was definitely some stirs at the at Prairie Wind Elementary School. There's no doubt about that. I always, all right, this is sort of dark. I always think back to 9/11 and all the things that the kids
Chance.
were talking about during 9/11.
Yeah, I mean,
that was a
yes.
crazy day.
That was the most absurd day of school I've ever had.
Absolutely.
Like, there's nothing that will ever be close.
I was a fourth grader.
Yeah.
I was in fourth grade. It was the perfect age for everyone to like halfway know what's going on and halfway have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And just the things that were being said in the fourth grade halls that day were just absurd.
Yeah, I was in 8th grade, and it was equally as
Eighth
absurd and
grade
less,
seems worse.
even less knowledgeable than the 4th grade, I'm sure, because it was much more rumor heavy. But one of my core memories of that day is my football coach delivering a speech that was basically like, sometimes things happen in life and you have to push it to the side so you can focus on what's happening right in front of you, which was 8th grade football practice. And maybe one of just to like, I remember sitting
We
during
will
this
not
speech.
cancel football practice.
I remember
We have
sitting
to
in the
beat
speech
Fremont.
thinking like, this guy's going to want a redo of this someday. Like, just knowing like, oh man,
Yeah, I
didn't
think so.
deliver an award-winning one on that.
Your guy's thinking like 15, 20 years later, he's like, did I really make the 8th graders
Yeah, like,
practice that day?
Okay, all right, coach.
That's a
like, if
precursor to
we-
Sean
If we
McDermott.
lose against Grand Island Walnut in a couple days, it's not because the practice was disrupted by,
They canceled all the college football games and the baseball games.
8th grade practice still happened
for
I'll tell you
several
that.
days. There was not a baseball game for several days after that.
Yeah, no, that was a wild time.
Famously, they
That
were like,
was a wild
Columbus 8th grade practice will go
time.
on.
Still went on. I think we still played Grand Island Walnut like a couple days later.
Yikes!
Yeah,
Yeah.
we still lost. That was never going to change.
Let the record show on that one. All right, those are the headlines. The helicopter landing at the school would certainly be an unforgettable experience. That much is for sure. Let's take a break. 8:00 hour. Don't forget to get in your Friday shout outs. We have a bunch of them right now. We're gonna have an extra. I vow to give ourselves at least like 5 more minutes today on Friday shout outs.
Okay, I love it.
We're gonna open
Friday
up.
shout outs.
Friday shout outs are coming at about 8:45. So get those in at Happen Schaefer, however you'd like to do it. Use the hashtag Friday shout outs if you're sending us a tweet. We'll be back 8:00 hour after this on 1620 The Zone. Let me ask you this. Is Matt Rule polarizing? Is he polarizing? And in order to be polarizing, you have to have people on both sides, right? Both sides make passionate cases. This guy is good. This guy is bad. Can you answer that question at this moment?
Yeah, I think you can. I mean, I think it is polarizing in the sense that, like, there's people on the other side. You just don't hear from them near at the volume that you hear from the people that are upset right now.
Is there really people who are like planting their flag and saying, trust me, Matt Rule is really good. I am sure about it. This is going to work. Because I don't hear that like at all.
Sure.
I don't hear that at all. I think there is a lot of defenses of him that are, some of the failures have been on the program. Some of the failures, like whatever, give him a chance. Sure. All of that. I get those cases for Matt Rule. What I haven't heard is people climbing the mountain, standing on top of it, planting their flag and saying, no, you guys don't understand. This guy is really, really, really good. And this is absolutely going to work.
Yeah.
That's what I do not hear. Maybe I don't listen to the right things, but I don't know.
I'm sure it's out there to some degree, but it's like I said, there's not much of it. And if there is any of it, it would be immediately shouted down. So, yeah, but I can't think of specific examples. I mean, I know just from the message board days, there's still people that definitely, because he's the Nebraska football coach, there's always a level or some level of fan that will blindly support that person.
And I get that. Like,
until the end.
I 100% understand that.
I don't know. I never know if those people are like, if it's just like it's a football coach, so I'm always going to support it. And then when he's not, I'll move on from that. Or if it's they truly believe it thing or not.
Yeah.
There is a difference in that. But yeah, like I said, it's out there, but it's certainly not with any kind of volume at all. So, and, having these conversations over and over and over just leads to more of the, like, why you would end up hearing from the people that feel like he absolutely won't work out.
Yeah, there's no doubt that we hear that a lot more than we do on the other side. And like, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. It's we've got a pretty good sample size, and it hasn't been overly positive.
Yeah.
I don't think during the time here. I also don't think it's been overly negative. And so I see it, I hear it. There's this whole conversation going on about like we've discussed it, I think, on this show, and I've certainly talked about it on my podcast with Mitch. Like, are we too negative? Are we too like what? Where are we actually sitting right now on the grand scheme of the sort of riding scale of excitement level and things like that? And I do think we've talked about this before, Schaefer. I do think there's an element where it goes too far in the bad direction. Now we haven't seen it go very far in the good direction,
Right.
Hardly at all. And so, especially as it pertains to this offseason, and particularly this coach. And that's why I wonder, like, I don't even know that he's polarizing. I don't even know that he's that polarizing. I just think the large, and maybe once again, this is all about your bubble and who you hear from and all these different things. Like, most of what I hear on him is, I don't really know where this is going, and I'm certainly not convinced that it is going to work out. We'll see. That's the best. And the worst is he needs to be gone right now. This is horrible. And I don't know about that one. Certainly.
I'm trying to think about how you could even measure this.
Yes, me too. I would love to know.
Basically, what we're talking about here is, and they don't even do this anymore nationally with the president, but what you're talking about is just sort of like an approval rating.
Yeah.
And I would guess that his is still above 50%. Like, if you actually polled the fan base.
Oh, wow.
And people gave you their result on it. Because I think there's enough passive people who don't spend their time.
How do they ask that question when they
That's like, it's basically, do you think the president is doing a great job, good job, a fair job, a poor job, a bad job, an atrocious job, and then it's like an averaged out of. That's my guess.
I think you just have to do it like black and white.
Yeah.
Do you think the coach? I don't even know how you would ask the question, but basically the answer potential would be yes or no. Are you in or are you out? And so, do you
I still think it'd be over 50% if you did
50,
the actual,
over
like,
50% in?
And I'm not talking about just the people that call into the show or respond on text or respond on YouTube or on message boards or like I'm talking about people that don't even know that our show exists, but are Nebraska football fans.
Absolutely.
Like, there's more of them that are out there than certainly you think about that would respond with this. And I think, again, I'm just going off of, there's usually so much support for the person that's in the chair anyways. And as bad as it seems like it's been, they still have had back-to-back seasons of which they've won 7 games. So I think there's enough grace in that element, combined with the people that are just predisposed to always supporting it anyways, that I think it would be over 50%.
Yeah, and
I don't think we're talking like 55% even, but like a 52%, 48% kind of thing.
And I feel bad for doing this because like I'm not a black and white guy. Like I don't.
Yeah, that's the part of it is like
it's not
the
fair.
exercise is sort of flawed at the start.
Yeah, it's not fair to just sit here and ask like, you need to give me an answer right now. Are you in or are you out? So that's not fair because obviously
it's also just counterproductive in the sense that like it's May. That felt weird.
Just a topic, but
right, yeah. Well, it's like, okay, so you're just basing it off of the last 3 years, and so what you'd have to be like, all right, what your expectations were for those 3 years, what the history of what they've been to where they are now. I
come up with answers to that. I come up with answers to all those questions.
Right.
They have fallen short of my expectation in every season.
Yep.
And it has not progressed as much as I have wanted it to progress, which led to me saying the thing that I said the other day, which is I do not believe he's going to be the guy to take Nebraska where they really want to go, which is to the playoff. I don't think he's taking them to the playoff.
Yeah.
With that being said, I'm not out. Like, and so I tried to explain that the other day, and I know it's very confusing because we oftentimes look at this as like, oh, well, if you don't think he's going to win, if you don't think he's going to win big, then what are we doing here? Then what's the point? And
the opposite is if you're someone like me who thinks there's absolutely a chance that he could take him to the college football playoff, then it's immediately, if you say that, well, when's it going to happen? When is it going to happen? Is it going to happen this year? It's not going to happen this year. Look at the schedule. They're going to barely win 6 games. Like, one of the most frustrating aspects of having any conversation about Nebraska football in 2026 is that the people that are just out are out to the level where you can't even have a conversation about it because they're just out. It's schedule. They suck. They don't have any talent, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, again, you think they're talking about a team that went 3-9 last year, which is not true. They didn't. Like, they are not a great football team. This is one of the hardest things in sports, is to just sort of be mediocre or
it's
average.
very difficult.
And that is not hard as in accomplishing it, but as a fan, like, the conversations that come out of this.
Oh, totally.
People absolutely hate when something is just average or slightly above average or slightly below
because
average.
there's no answer. I mean,
you don't know what to do with it.
It's
the Kirk Cousins of everything. People hate Kirk Cousins, not because he's a bad quarterback, not because he's ruined people's, experience as an opposing fan, but because he sits almost directly in the middle and you never know what to do with it. That is where Nebraska football finds itself.
It's truly and that's where the narratives get going, because it's truly a choose your own, how do we wake up feeling today, and what's he saying on a podcast, or like, whatever it might be. And that is going to dictate your mood on how you feel about the entire thing, given that the results are mediocre. Like you said, they're not convincing,
right,
one way or the other. They're not. So I don't know. Like, it's not obvious to me. It's not obvious to me that they are so much better than they were when he took over. Right? Like, that's the difficult part for me.
I think
I
the
understand-
program is
I believe that too.
significantly moved from where it was when he got here in 2022.
Can you show me how?
I mean, from what they were as
I'm willing
a
to go.
program,
I'm willing to go along with this because like I said, I think it's happening. It's just not obvious to me.
Yeah,
we're
like,
talking about
it's-
splitting hairs here, but
It's funny because I say significant, but like the wins and losses are incremental. But I just think the health of the overall program is better
why?
because part of it is the last guy that they had. The way things were run there just felt like a giant mess all the time. Like, I don't think they are a mess Monday or like Sunday through Friday. I think the issues are very much a Saturday. This is where my Matt Rule concern is. I don't care that he has a podcast. I don't care that he goes on with Pat McAfee. I don't really care that he talks a lot. None of that bothers me.
But if the problem's still like, if they're, I agree with what you're
if you're
saying.
asking me how, and I'm telling you that they have a better program in-house, and then I think like things are progressing in that regard, and it's evident on the field that they've won more games, and you still ask me how, I don't know what else to tell you.
Oh no,
Like they're winning games. They are like, I think their players have gotten better. They produce not necessarily NFL talent, but their teams are better. They're better on the field in terms of discipline. They don't have as many penalties. They've gotten like their offense is incrementally better than where it finished with Scott Frost. Their defense has been significantly better than where it finished with Scott Frost.
The winning games part, I guess, is where I would stop. Like I mean, I don't know. I don't see a whole lot of difference of what they're doing now in the win column, but from what they were doing before he was here. I really don't. I'm sorry.
Scott Frost started at 4-8.
I
He
know.
peaked at 5-6. He got to 3-9, and 4-8 were the last two seasons. Like,
I just don't see that big of a difference.
well, then I don't know what to like. I don't know how to make someone see anything if they don't think there's a difference between 3 and 4 win seasons and 7 win seasons. If you don't think that, then why is there a big difference between a 7-win season and a 9-win season?
Because 9 is 9-3.
Yeah, but 7 is still 4 more than 3, which they were 2 years before Matt Rule
I would say
arrived.
7 and 5 is definitely different from 4 and 8. But like I don't feel like it's taken this giant jump up because they've gone to 2 bowl games here. Like that was never the thing for me.
Sure.
I always thought that they were underachieving with Frost by not going to bowl games so significantly.
Mhm.
And now that the mere fact that they are achieving, they have achieved getting to the bowl game doesn't really do much for me as far as moving the needle. I'm not moving the goalposts here. I've always felt like Nebraska is very, very well capable with the talent that they have. I still feel like they're underperforming. Like that's what it comes down to for me, I guess.
I don't want to misrepresent.
And this is talking about
myself.
on game days. I'm like, whatever the practice was like, and I agree with you. I think they're in better shape just as far as an organizational standpoint. I think they got pros in the building, like all those different things. There's no doubt about that. I wish that it would look better on game day.
Yeah. You're looking at me like I don't understand that aspect of it. I agree 100%. They've underachieved across all 3 seasons. When I say things are better, this program, even with this schedule that we're going to talk about how difficult and everything else and how they can't win and all these things, they're going to win more than 3 games. They're going to win more than 4 games. I would be relatively surprised if they don't win at least 6 games again. Where things have been raised is the floor under Matt Rule is higher than it was under Scott Frost. The problem is the ceiling has not gone up.
Yeah.
And we don't know if the ceiling can go up because what you and I are talking about, where my issues are, is on Saturday.
Mhm.
And I don't know that Matt Rule can stay out of his own way enough for that ceiling to go up. So again,
Me too. I agree.
like when I say that it's significantly improved, Scott Frost had 3 and 9 in his bag all the time. I don't know that he even had 6 and 6 in his bag because they were such a meandering mess all the time. All of the time, there's stuff going on over there. You don't have that as much.
I'll tell you what stops me too. While I generally agree with you that the floor is higher, that Minnesota game last year makes me think twice about that.
Yeah.
They could bottom out with the best of them. That sucked.
100%.
That was bad.
Again, this isn't to say that there aren't issues, that things are great, that I 100% believe that the vision of this is going to be leading to the college football playoff even as early as like 2027. It's to say that I think that he has set this program up has a far greater chance of going there than certainly where they were under Frost, certainly with what he inherited when he got here in 2022. But at the same time, I can acknowledge they're nowhere where they should be at this point. Like, I felt like they should have had a 9-win season each of the last 2 years. And they gave games away. They've given games away. Like, that's the hallmark of what this whole tenure has felt like.
Yeah.
And yet at the same time, it is better than where they were before. Now, is that enough? No. Like, that's the real part of it.
I also think at the same time, I mean, you can go back and we could do this because we just flipped it around the other way. I mean, you could go back and say they could have lost 2 games that they won in each of the last 2 years. So
I mean,
you
generally, your record tells you who you are because you can woulda, coulda, shoulda.
I think so too. I think so too.
I think they're very much where they are.
And like you said, I think they've just underperformed.
And I feel like they should be a better team than they are right now.
Yeah.
Part of, if I have any optimism for next year, it's that I don't think they were as bad as a team that finished up with a backup quarterback that could barely run an offense. Not TJ Lateef could barely run an offense. The team could barely run an offense. It wasn't just Emmett Johnson in the final 3 games of the season. So I think that they have a chance to be better simply because what we watched the last 3 games of the season were not the same team that we watched in the previous 10. That's my opinion of it.
Do you think they would have won how many games?
I think they beat USC if Dylan doesn't get hurt. I don't know how Penn State and Iowa necessarily go. I think it's a very different game with Dylan Raiola than with a quarterback where neither of them had to respect at all the throwing it. Like, say what you will about
defense
Dylan,
got crapped on.
You have to play defense a little bit differently than against a guy where getting to 100 yards was going to be a challenge.
That's true, but I mean, Nebraska both didn't score enough points to win in those games and gave up way too many.
Defensively they were a mess. Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure what the Dylan injury does.
Well, I don't. Again, it comes back to it's really hard to have like a strong conviction on this, even if you think that there's the ability to get to the 10 wins when we go back to that original conversation.
Yeah, kind of just meandering in the middle. Here's a phone call on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Here's Lane. Good morning, Lane. What's up?
Hey, it's Lane, Lane. How are you guys doing?
Good, Lane.
Good. Hey, I just want to touch base with a little bit of what you guys were saying, if I may. Here's the deal. The 2-10 record in November, the way the season ends under Rule is just so deflating, guys. And I'm not putting this all on Matt Rule, but it's just, I know he's had some tough games in November. The first season, maybe not so much, but especially the last 2 seasons, the way the season has ended, in November, and the 10-17 record in Big Ten play, those 2 things really have fans frustrated. And I think that's why fans seem a little sour on Matt Rule right now. I'll let you guys speak to what I just said, and thanks for the show.
Thank you, Lane. Yeah, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. So I mean, I'm totally with him. I say that all the time.
The finish to each of the last 3 seasons has
just leaves a horrible
the goodwill that has been built up prior to November every time.
It leaves a horrible taste in your mouth.
No, he's absolutely,
and it sets
correct.
the tone for a horrible offseason. And here we are in the middle, smack dab in the middle of the horrible offseason, talking about if we could sort through our feelings on if he's good or not. It's hard.
We arrive at the conclusion that we do not know if he is good or not.
I think that's right. I think we have both learned it, ended up in the
again, which is why like a 52-48 seems like it's a real possibility.
All right, let's get to some texts here. Well, here I got a tweet here from Mustache Adam first. He says he's polarizing the fact that the wins and losses are in the middle, and the people on each side can make a case for or against him. We just hear more from the guys like the John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, who can't make a coherent thought outside of can't wait for 12/31/32. And yeah, he does say that in the comments sometimes. And is that when his contract is up or something like that? That's not a factor in any of this. Dan says it's a lot of negative and a lot of middle. So it's pull to equator. I don't know. I don't know what to call it. That's what Dan says. It's very interesting. I don't know. Like, you can't really put a tag on on any of this of how the fan base feels right now. It really is up to.
Well, there's
your
so many
own
little
point of view.
pieces of all of it.
Nick from St. Louis says, I don't understand how anybody could think he's not at least better than what we've had. He's doing better than anybody else since Bo. Yeah.
It's just a
I
question of
don't
whether
think,
people
like-
think that matters. And
Yeah.
there's some people that don't think it matters.
I don't think like convincingly better, but it's
To me, it's convincingly better, but I also at the end, the Frost regime was so horrifically
right.
bad.
I don't even count that. Yeah.
I mean, even
I should,
Yeah.
but yeah, that sucked.
yeah, like it's one of the things that fascinates me is it's like, okay, if you took the 2021 team and they played like the 2025 team, who would actually win that game? The greatest 3-9 team in the history of 3-9, or the team that went 7-6 that got blown out by the last 3 games?
What a
that they
terrific
played?
question, Schaefer.
And I sit here and I tell you, I have no answer for you on that question.
What a tremendous
Because that
question.
2021 team, I've
They would
watched
just
take
find a way to blow
multiple
it,
top
yeah.
10 teams,
Yeah.
deep into games and not win them.
And they'd find a way to screw it up.
Right. And 2025, I watched, piddle around with Northwestern and Maryland and win those games.
With also still a quality of
Yeah.
finding a way to screw it up in there too.
Right. But then also played Michigan and USC tough and everything else at home.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there is an element of this where I do wonder if what the record would have to be for people to like, okay, this looks like it's going in the right direction for next year. If they go 7-5, is that enough? If they go 8-4,
Tell me how November
I would
goes.
have to think that would be the most like anti-Matt Rule person would have to at least admit that's a good year.
I'm telling you, the best offseason we've had around here in years is after they started 0-6 and then went 4-2 in the final 6 games. They went 4-8 on the season. They sucked. They went 4-2 down the stretch. Everybody was excited.
Yeah,
Some of it is because you wanted to convince yourself that he was the guy. Yeah, of course. It was the first year. But there is some real credence to what Lane said, what he called in with. Like,
well, think about how people
if they finish off this season with a couple of wins against Ohio State and Iowa or something like that, like we're talking about a different thing, regardless of the record.
I feel like if you flipped one singular game, you could add like 3% to the approval rating, and that was the Iowa 2024 loss. If they go out winning both of those 2 games against Wisconsin and Iowa, and you don't have that loss, I think that would have done enough for some people.
Really, if you flip any of the Iowa games.
Well, for every coach in perpetuity since, Bo left us. So Bo left us since Bo was cashed out.
Or dearly departed Bo.
Who, again, I wondered the other day, like what he does. What is he up to?
Oh,
besides just busting appearances.
Just eating spaghetti, man.
Playing bocce ball.
He's just chilling. Yeah, he's having the time of his life out there in Youngstown. All right.
Oh, man.
As always, your thoughts, 402-951-1620. We'll get to a few more of those. Also, we'll get to some local baseball news and get in your Friday shout-outs as well. 402-951-1620 or on Happen Schaefer on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. We'll round out the hour with that in a few minutes. We're back after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, one of your final calls to get in your Friday shout-outs coming up in just a couple minutes. It's just like old FM radio or new FM radio. Who knows? People call into radio stations anymore. Lane did in the last segment. You call in and give your shout-outs. We already got a shout-out to Norbit going on as well, so we already got that in.
Oh, good. Thank you,
which
Whopper,
is
Whopper.
Nice.
Tremendous. We'd like to welcome and thank everybody for coming to town this weekend. For if you're in town now, I don't imagine that a lot of the people who are in town traveled to the Berkshire Hathaway shareholders meeting this weekend have decided to find the local sports radio station and turn it on. But if you have, and if you fit in that specific demographic, thank you. What an honor it is.
We appreciate
Shout out to you
How have you enjoyed our exposed wires at our airport?
in our pothole.
In our potholes in your rental
Would you
car?
like to see the remnants of the old sinkhole on 68th and Pacific?
You could go visit it right on your way to Warren's house or from Warren's house when you go see Warren's house. And maybe we haven't sent our
It's in the neighborhood.
we haven't sent our on the ground boots on the ground reporter yet, but we'll see if we can get out there and he sees the stanchions.
Yeah, he should drive passage on his way over.
Alex Lincoln says, shout out to Theo for being a true CT11 truther. Respect. Yeah. Theo always comes in and says stuff about Mickey Joseph and Casey Thompson. And we're always like, you are the only person on this island. It's amazing.
There are other Casey Thompson people. I will never understand that. But, he did beat Iowa, and you have to give him credit.
They did. He was throwing that thing to Trey Palmer. That is for sure. All right. Yesterday, some baseball news around here. Evan Porter, the coach of the Omaha Mavericks, announced that he's going to be resigning at the end of the year. 10 years as the Omaha baseball head coach. They're in Greeley taking on Northern Colorado this weekend. He was going to join the show this morning and had something come up, and so we'll talk to him next week at some point. So So Evan's an Omaha guy, right? Evan, played on the undefeated Miller North team and played for Omaha baseball when they were a D2 powerhouse and kind of saw that all the way through. And, has always been involved or, since he got done playing basically with Omaha baseball, was an assistant there, helped transition, was part of the transition from Division II to Division I, which is difficult. They're playing at all these different fields, and they finally found a home at Tal Anderson. And it's a really, really difficult baseball league to play in because half the games get snowed out,
Right.
And things like that. And so there's things about the job that are interesting that I want to talk about in a little bit. But I wanted to say this about Evan. Anytime that Evan and I talked we talked, before a lot of games over the last handful of years now. He would always ask about my family. He would always ask about my family. And then most recently, when I had a kid, ask about that process and all those things. He is a family guy. And so to see him say, hey man, I got my kids in Little League and I'm not missing it. That was not a surprise. Although it was a surprise to see the news yesterday. I saw it. I'm like,
the rationale, the reason
that just 100% tracks with Evan. Like there's no doubt about it. So I respect the absolute heck out of that. How difficult it must be to be away from the family all the time, especially during this time as they're kind of growing up, and then him actually having the opportunity to have this idea and make it happen for him and his family. Really cool. So congratulations on an awesome run. And like I said, we'll catch up with him next week, but he's a hell of a guy, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I've never had the opportunity to actually talk with him, but I've heard plenty of good things. He's obviously the success of what he's done with UNO, as you said, in a difficult conference, but again, in sort of what feels like to maybe something I just value a lot, leaving Omaha baseball in a great place. I mean,
I think so.
Everything where it's at, was talking a little bit with Brunts about this, like,
in theory, that's a really good job.
It'd be an attractive job for somebody that's either an up and comer or you're trying to bounce back after, maybe you're already an experienced manager and it didn't work where you were at, but you could bring something to the table. And I think, and I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but I think the state of Nebraska produces baseball players at a higher level than probably ever gets credit for. And there's good in-state players here that go populate other schools or have the opportunity in Major League Baseball.
I mean, just go take a spin through the Jayhawk League one weekend.
Yeah. No,
100%. And
high school teammates that went down there to play in it.
And that's a good and that's a good route too. Omaha has recruited the junior colleges really, really well over the last several years. So has Nebraska.
Yep.
And Creighton's starting to a little bit now as well. And so that's a route that guys can take, and they go to the junior colleges for a couple of years, and they come up and come back to their home state and make some noise. I think I even saw national people talking about this last night. I think it's a fascinating job. In theory, it should be in theory it is the best in the Summit League.
Yeah.
Oral Roberts has a little bit more history and a better climate, obviously, which makes it mildly more desirable. Yep. Now, I don't think you have to necessarily think about it in terms of the Summit League. They might not be there for very long. So think about
a very good point.
Think about that piece of it too. And then you strip the conference affiliation away from it. It has a brand new facility. It has a good, decent Omaha fan base. And it has a great player base to recruit players from, like you just said. It's a home run. I mean, it's a really good spot, and obviously a lot because of the position that Evan has helped put it in over the last decade now in the transition from Division II as a great Division II program to a Division I program that was first led by Bobby Harold, and then what they've done to sort of stabilize it over the last 10 years, and then get Tal Anderson, such a huge deal. I think it's a tremendous opportunity for somebody, and I can't wait to see where Adrian and those guys end up going with it.
Yeah, it's one of the things you mentioned there with the fan base. I mean, something that I've noted well before I ever lived in Omaha, the alums you meet, the former Omaha baseball players.
Yep.
By and large, have a ton of support and
it's quite the community. Yeah,
behind Omaha baseball. Like it really matters to that Omaha baseball
community. I mean, when they were rolling, it was.
Oh yeah, no,
they were one of the best teams in the country. I mean, like legit, they were rolling as a D2 World Series participant like all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's been a bunch of and during that time their roster was just stocked. It was just Omaha guys basically.
Right.
There was just a lot of them. And then the transition to Division I, like there's stuff that you just run into and it gets hard, and the conference affiliation I think is a lot. But yeah, I think there's a real chance to do some pretty good. But mostly, when I think about this, I'm just happy for Evan and his chance to do. I imagine.
How long was his tenure in total?
I think he was an assistant for 2 or 3, and he would still go in the summer and play overseas and and play for a little bit of a period of time there, and then was an assistant during the spring, and then eventually got past the head coach job. And now he's brought in guys who have been involved with Omaha baseball for a long time. Darren Ruff is on his staff right now. And so I think there's a real good chance for Omaha baseball to have some real success. There's a real good chance for that. So I can't wait to catch
a very interesting candidate field, I would think.
Like I said, I wonder. I wonder where you go for it. I would imagine to have no shortage of interests from a variety of different angles. But what are you after, right?
What are you prioritizing?
What are you prioritizing? What are you trying to get out of it? And there's a lot of different things that you could do. There's a lot of different directions that you could go. I mean, Evan wasn't short on the connections to the people around here because he's been around here for a long time. Right. He's an Omaha guy. But so there's that piece of it. There's the fundraising part of it, which is always really, really big, for a smaller program. And, so what are you sort of looking at? I'm not sure. All right. So we'll catch up with him next week, and we will see there at Northern Colorado this weekend, taking a stop out in Greeley, playing some baseball. Maybe the sun will be out. The sun's usually out in Colorado.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what you're going to get there. But the
Joey,
sun is
check my
normally there.
Greeley weather.
I know South Colorado had a huge snowfall when my folks went back, so
Ugh.
I mean that's way far away from
But
Greeley.
that's an easy interstate, right?
76, right?
For Greeley.
Oh yeah, you could take 76.
Just trying to prop Joey up for some interstate talk.
The high is 67 degrees today, sunshine and a few afternoon clouds. Looks
Sounds
like a great
delightful.
day
It'll be decent.
for Summit
It'll be
League
decent enough.
baseball. We'll take a break. Our Friday shout outs coming up next on 1620 The Zone. All right, it's time for Friday shout outs. It's up to you. Whatever you want to shout out right here on 1620 The Zone. You can have the cool guys who get to talk into the microphone for a living say
right.
things about you. Could you imagine? It could make your day. It'd make my day when people talk about me on the radio. I love when people talk about me on the radio.
So they need to talk about you more on the other shows.
Talk about me more on the other shows.
All right.
But when you do it, you say, shout out to Happer. Shout out to Connor. He did a great job.
Shout out to Connor. He'll never hear this. But
oh, no, I listen to the other shows. Listen to the other shows all the time.
And I used to listen to the other shows, but now that I work the morning show, I take a nap.
Joey doesn't listen to the other
Joey's
shows.
done with the other shows.
Yeah, the other shows are canceled.
Sorry, Matt. Sorry, John. Sorry, Josh.
John Bishop has a couple shout outs that he likes to
To Ty Simpson,
share today.
the greatest Rams
Whoa.
quarterback to be.
He says, to all of the makers, designers, and wearers of goofy ass hats, enjoy your Super Bowl. Hashtag Friday shoutouts. He's talking about the Derby.
Yep. Do
Nice.
you have a Derby hat for Saturday? Aren't you doing something for the Derby?
Yeah, but family's coming over. I don't have any outfits planned.
Nice.
That'll be a tomorrow thing that I think about.
My
Got my
suit's in the
blazer.
dry cleaning.
I got my shirts. I got to decide which shirt.
Oh, by the way, I need some advice. What do I wear if the thing is a Great Gatsby thing?
Ooh.
I don't think I have like a black suit or like I don't
Do
have.
you wear a fedora hat?
Do I wear a hat?
Yeah,
I'm not.
what's interesting is I feel like it's the Great Gatsby remake makes people think that Great Gatsby is like a black and white thing.
Okay.
because it's not necessarily that. It's just like
It's just
elegant society.
Okay, just dress up.
Yeah,
just wear a
just
suit.
Dress.
All right. Well, I got
Yeah.
that. No problem. All right.
At least if you're going off of the book Great Gatsby or like the first movie Great Gatsby.
I don't. It just said Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
It just said Gatsby themed.
High society in the 1920s.
That's coming up soon too. Here is another one from John. Shout out to the number 50, an unpretentious number that doesn't run from its reputation of being arbitrary, but wears the label with a sense of pride and purpose. We should all strive for our daily walk to be more like number 50.
Okay.
I agree, John.
The number 50 had come under fire this week. from
It
what I
has.
understand.
It very,
Happened in a
very
basketball
sadly.
game yesterday.
That is true. There was
New
a
York
team
Knicks.
that won by 50.
Wow.
Won, I guess, yesterday. Nick Grimm. Wow.
Whoa.
A Friday shout out to my wife. I have one of those now, and she's awesome. That's what Nick says.
Congratulations,
Grimfest
Nick.
was this past Sunday. It was great.
She put the whole wedding together herself, and I love her very much. That's so cute.
Oh.
Speaking of, we get one from John. Shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Nick Grimm on their recent nuptials. Welcome to adulting.
Look at this.
Wow.
A lot of people shouting out Nick and his wife.
He was man of the weekend, and he's getting shout outs.
Is this true?
Yeah. Well, I gave him man of the
Oh,
weekend.
you gave him
on
man of the
Monday.
weekend. Yeah, that's right.
For the green suit.
Belmont Bill, Friday shout out to my wonderful wife. Stays home with our 9-month-old day and night and is simply the best. 9-month-old picture. There you go. There's a little baby and a little doggy
There is
as
a little
well.
doggy.
Shout out to you, Belmont Bill, for shouting out your wife. Mark says, shout out to Swap Talk radio segments. No other place can you buy used auto parts, deep sea diving equipment, and numerous amounts of other used crap. Shout out to you, small town radio segments, and the service that you provide.
I don't know that I've listened to that.
I don't think I've heard that either.
Swap Talk Radio.
Swap Talk Radio, I don't know. Maybe we just do trades or something like that. Our friends from Liquid Trucking have
Yeah.
arrived. Shout out, Friday shout outs. Congratulations to this week's training graduates. We'll see you on the roads. Casey Clark, Dylan Coulter, Rocky Ross, and Colton McClure. Congratulations for your training graduate program from Liquid Trucking.
All right. Let's
Well
go.
done. Well done by those guys. Mike says, shout out to Blades of Glory, a 2007 movie, superior to Norbit. Whoa. Is
We
this
got a
true?
2007 movie fight.
Meanwhile, Whopper writes in, driving to Arkansas, can't forget the Norbit Friday shout out, #GOAT.
The real battle between these.
Pick one, Schaefer, Norbit or Blades of Glory.
I would probably pick Blades of Glory here over Norbit.
I think I would as well, personally. Here's Pedro. Hi, guys. Shout out to the death of Live Golf. The golfers have a pocket full of money, but no legacy, and soon nobody will remember them. So sad.
So sad indeed. The short-lived Live Golf experience.
Also, Pedro writes in, hi, guys, The Great Gatsby, you wear a monocle. Do you wear a monocle for The Great Gatsby? I'm hosting
You can
an
reach out to
event.
Michael Severe and see if you can borrow his son's monocle since he has one.
That's true. I'm hosting an event that requires me to dress up in some form or fashion. I think I'll probably just wear a suit and be a normal person.
Just wear a suit. You're okay.
That's how I'll just put on a tie. That's what I'm going to do. Jeremy says, shout out to Evan Porter. That's a great guy. I agree. That's a good shout out. You got any shout outs? Because I got a big one today.
No, you take the center stage. I think I know what your shout out is.
I know who you.
Well, we've seen a lot of people shout out their wives and other people's wives and things of that nature. Shout out to my wife. It's our anniversary today. So I guess shout out to halfway me as well, because I was halfway
Shout
involved.
out to a great wedding 5 years ago.
A great wedding 5 years ago. Yeah. That was 5 years ago today.
Shout out to Tab just standing awkwardly with his suitcase at your wedding.
Yeah,
when
he was
everybody
just
else
there.
arrived.
He just came in. He was like, whoa. I'm like, cool. This is crazy.
Yeah.
He
It was
showed
a good
up.
time. It was a good wedding.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I had a blast.
I'm glad the other
I
folks
got to
seem
see
to enjoy
multiple
it as well.
coworkers consume a lot of alcohol and pay for it.
It was the day of the 2021 Nebraska spring game. And as you do on wedding day, you sit around and you do nothing for a tremendous period of time. And so me and a couple other people, the people that were in my wedding, we sat around a cooler or whatever in like a back room inside of the wedding venue and just like watched parts of the Nebraska spring game on my phone. It was the Jock Yant spring game. It was COVID. It was COVID.
And just months later, he would stumble over his own feet
At the
in front of the
Minnesota
1
game.
yard line and not score against Minnesota,
100%.
which would have won that game.
100%.
So
it was COVID, and it was like this weird period of time where it was half like we were halfway still like not full back out in public, but there was just barely a vaccine.
Yep.
Like
second, I don't even know if people could be fully boosted yet at that point.
I don't think so. I got my first shot like 2 weeks prior to that.
Same.
I think it was almost exactly 2 weeks prior to that.
Yeah.
And then that was it. Unclear on whether my wedding was a super spreader or not. I'm sure
I
it
can't
was.
remember if I went to the spring game and then got to your wedding or skipped the spring game entirely. I hope it was the second.
I hope you.
I would bet a fair amount of money I had to go for some purpose. And that purpose was to take photos of the 150 recruits that were there.
Not a shout out to that.
Some of which might have ended up at Nebraska.
Oh, we could take a look at the 2021 recruits who are at the spring game.
It'd be 2022.
Yeah.
You'd be working out ahead.
Yeah, Chet, do you have your records updated or your visitor list from May 1st, 2021?
We'll see what we can find.
That would be truly hilarious if you were able to find any number of people who were there that day. Let's see. From Zeke. Shout out to the police. Wow, shout out to the police, especially the ones that pull over and ticket the smokers who toss their cigarette butts out their car windows.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the
You people
band.
suck, and the world is not your ashtray. Yeah, don't put your cigarette butts on the ground. Disgusting.
That's nasty.
John says only Happer could host a high society event with no grass on his estate. No. The Great Gatsby thing is not at my house. I'm hosting as in like I'm the person who gets to talk with the microphone.
2021 spring game had limited availability. People could take self-guided tours.
Oh my God.
For recruiting that year.
Oh, great.
So I bet I did.
You didn't go to the spring game. Yeah.
What an amazing day that was.
Shout out to that day.
Shout out to that day for sure.
5 years ago, and shout out to the giant steak I am about to eat tonight. It's a
shout out that steak.
Congratulations.
Fantastic. All right, we'll take a break. 9 o'clock hour. We'll still be joined by our dear friend Jake Sorensen. More to come on Happer and Schaefer on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. 9 o'clock here on Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer, Joey Colbert with you. The Bananas and Bangers sweepstakes is going on. Let us know what your walk-up song is. You can win a 4-pack of sweet tickets to see the Bananas play. Did you see what the Bananas did yesterday?
No, I missed it.
The Bananas dropped and did a pop-up game.
They did a pop-up game?
A pop-up game. Yes. By the way, you do the Bananas and Bangers thing, 1620thezone.com, powered by McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air. You could go to the Memorial Stadium game and get a $200 and get a free duct cleaning from McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air. Yes, they did a pop-up game.
So they just showed up and played a game.
Correct.
I love that.
I do too. And I don't say a lot of great things about this.
Yeah, you're very anti-bananas.
So it doesn't make a lot of sense. I just roll my eyes most of the time. But yeah, they were traveling through, I think they were traveling through the state of Texas. And then they decided we're going to pop up at a high school, Navasota High School. And they said, you have basically 3 hours until the game starts, and first 1,000 people to show up, get in. Out after that, we're closing the doors. Nobody else gets in. We're going to play a real life Savannah Bananas baseball game. And we're also going to have the All-American Rejects be there with us as well.
Unbelievable.
The All-American Rejects showed up with them, and they did a concert, and then they did a game at Navasota High School in somewhere in the Brazos Valley area.
So the All-American Rejects just are touring with the Savannah Bananas because they couldn't have just popped up at, what'd you say, Navasota High School?
Maybe they were doing a show in Waco or something like that.
Waco.
I don't know. That's where the Brazos.
Waco's a weird town.
That's where the Brazos Valley is, right? Waco. Is that what they
could be?
See, I don't know my Texas geography, like most of them. But yep, Savannah Bananas. You never know. Maybe they'll do a pop-up show at Millard West High School or something like that.
Navasota is actually much closer to. It's like in between Houston and College Station.
Okay.
So
Wow.
further south than Waco.
Wow. Savannah Bananas. Chance writes in. He says, so they kept that their dirty little secret?
They did.
Nice. Shout out to the
Now
All-American
we move
Rejects.
along.
Are you excited for the Kentucky Derby this weekend? Are you in any way, shape, or form?
In the last few years, I attend a Kentucky Derby party that's enjoyable as a social experience. I don't get that. Like, I don't ever really know what's going on with the horses anymore.
I realized this about myself a few years ago. I love sporting events that I can like set my watch to. I love the fact that the Rose Bowl, well, I guess it changed briefly, but that it's the same time on the same day every year. I love that the Kentucky Derby is on the same time at the same day every year. And you could like set your watch to it. It's like, oh, I know the order of events here.
First Saturday in May.
Every single time.
5:28, 5:30,
5:58 or whatever it is. Like I could set my watch to it. The dude's going to be trumpeting the thing. They're going to be singing My Old Kentucky Home. There's going to be a billion drunkards there. And I am not going to know what's going on as far as the horse races are concerned. But I absolutely adore events that I could just set my watch to yearly, once, and especially like the one-off events.
Yeah.
You know, and this one is one of the bigger ones we have probably.
Well, it's funny because I just feel like people get really big into the Derby, and then you also then will have Preakness and Belmont, and those only matter if the horse that wins the Derby also wins Preakness.
I don't think I've ever sat down and watched the Preakness or the Belmont.
I have definitely, but it was when there was a Triple Crown at stake. Otherwise, no. And my most memorable of it was, I think Funny Side came up just short of the Triple Crown, and I watched it on the Giant K at Kauffman Stadium.
Oh, that's fun.
Because it was before a Red Sox Royals game that I was attending with my dad.
That's fun.
That's probably my favorite Kentucky Derby because everyone felt like favorite like horse race experience because everyone sort of made the same noise when Funny Side didn't win the Triple Crown.
The last time we had a Triple Crown was in 2018, Justify, and I remember getting the notification on my phone that Justify had won the Belmont, and I was like, "Oh, wow, cool," and then I forgot about it
Is that
until this exact moment.
What is the Belmont? Is that like the second Saturday in June?
So they're doing a thing now where they are trying to they're trying to minimize, I think, the time between the race. Like that's a new initiative that I think the Triple Crown races have. But yeah, it's not for a while.
Severe actually just texted about this. And he said the horse that wins the Kentucky Derby has not been going to the Preakness the last few years. That's why they're thinking about changing the time frame between the two races. And he says the Belmont is an amazing race, by the way, when it's actually at its home track.
At Belmont Park.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it's in New York. Everybody loves a great New York event. Truly do. Welcome to the Big East, Mike Schaefer. Get ready for
a whole summer of me getting welcome to the Big East.
There's nothing like having an event in New York and then playing Sinatra afterwards. It just rocks every single time.
We could have.
I don't know why. It just hits so perfect.
We could have our own Wacky Guess Wednesday. Now that I'm thinking about this, it's just you coming up with people that I need to talk to involved with Big East athletics. We just have them on the show.
Some of the main.
I learned about the Big East throughout the summer.
Talk to all the Happer doppelgangers.
Yeah,
Might as well.
All the people who do my job at various arenas around
only
the
if
country.
I'm allowed to bring in Nathan Baird.
That guy looks like me too, but he does not do my job.
No, he does not.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good idea. We could hit up some Big East stakeholders and teach Schaefer about how great it is.
What's happening with the commissioner thing? Is there any word?
Like everybody seems to think it's just going to be Dan Gavin.
Oh, just going to do that.
That's what it seems like.
Okay.
That's what it
Is he going to bring back the Gavitt games?
Maybe he'll bring back the Gavitt games.
Would love to see that return.
Nebraska and Creighton can play each other not just for the rights to bragging rights, but also a Gavitt game.
A Gavitt game.
And conference cheering. So I am excited for the Kentucky Derby. It's one of the events that, like I said, you could set your watch to.
Matt's real excited about it.
Yeah, Matt is incredibly excited. Matt walked in and I told him his sunglasses were too small for his head, and he was really frustrated by it. But you'll get to see that during the show today.
He said something else to me, and I was dismissive of it. He's like, "Yeah, you guys are great in the morning." So
just like to say good morning. Odds right now, if you're interested in at all, 4-1 Renegade, 6-1 Commandment, 6-1 Further Ado, 8-1 Chief Wallaby, and so on and so forth.
Do you have a horse you want to pick? Should we just like we picked?
Absolutely not. This is the first time I've even looked at this. So
that's what I mean. It's just like the Masters. You picked Colin Morikawa, and he came out of nowhere.
Yeah, since Matt won't play my game with me, then I guess I'm going to go with Incredibolt.
I like that name. Yeah,
Incredibolt.
Offhand,
I think a lot of people are going to pick Incredibolt because it's a cool name.
Yeah, offhand, I was thinking like the Chief Wallaby would potentially work for me on that one.
Go for it.
Who else? I want to see if there's anything else I'm missing here.
How about the Puma?
That's a good name.
How about Right to Party?
Right to Party.
How about
I like that one.
Litmus Test?
I will definitely at the party I'm at, which it does a great thing where it's like a closed circuit gambling thing. So what you're betting against is how everybody else in the pool is doing it. I will put some money on Pavlovian.
Good one.
That is, I will certainly put money on Pavlovian as a dark horse long shot.
Silent Tactic, it appears, is scratched. In full effort, has scratched as well.
They're gone as well. No, I'll say Chief Wallaby. That is that's my horse to win.
Here's a tweet from Hockey Dad. Secretariat thinks all these horses today are soft and lame. Probably because they don't run in the Preakness. They refuse to run in the Preakness because of load management. But I mean,
Kentucky Derby NBA handshake.
In all reality, I mean, you get your purse off the Kentucky Derby, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm good. I don't really need to push this horse anymore.
You push them for greatness. Does greatness not mean anything anymore,
Oh,
Connor?
man, I don't think so.
Have we given up on greatness?
The
in this
horses don't
society?
actually care about the Triple Crown anymore.
Hard to imagine.
The horses just care about winning the Kentucky Derby, and that's it. And then they quit the other races. Plaquette says, right to party scratch this morning. I thought I'd update the list. We're deep into alternates at this point. Yeah, that's the other very confusing thing about looking at the Kentucky Derby so far in advance. The horses the field like completely changes, as you go on throughout the week and the month or whatever leading up to the event. So more than likely, I'm going to take a look at it at about 4:00 tomorrow. I'm going to say, yeah, I think I like this, and I'm going to box it up or whatever it might be, and then call it good. Check out my Twin Spires, and I tried to I think it was 2 years ago. I cashed out on Twin Spires, and they sent me an actual check in the mail.
Oh,
It was classy.
very nice.
It was very classy. All right, Jake Sorensen is our Friday guest on Happer and Schaefer. We will talk with him about the Kansas City Royals, a variety of
Jason Peter and Grant Wistrom
Jason Peter and Grant Wistrom. What are they up to?
going on Jake's show.
Oh, exciting. I wonder, maybe Jake will be even more energetic this morning because he
Could
talked
be.
to those guys.
It could be. They were in studio too.
Okay, definitely. He's going to have some of
I don't
the
even know how
residual.
they did it with that studio.
I don't either. I guess I've been in there once, but
Yeah.
I've never really seen it operate.
No, there's not a lot of room to have 5 people in there. The chairs are so big. It's
All
like
right.
the biggest studio chairs you'll ever see.
We'll see what Jake is up to with his big chairs when we come back after this on 1620 The Zone.
I'm kind of psychotic, but what else is new? I think you guys both know that my psychology is probably really can't assess how it operates. I don't even know how my brain works at all most days either. I'm a Miami Dolphins fan, guys. We have not won a playoff game in 25 years. I don't believe ever in moral victories because they're a waste of time. My whole life would be a moral victory at that point. They're going to lose. It's the way sports go. It's very hard to go undefeated. I got the Royals going to the World Series this year. I don't care. I will follow this team wherever they go, and I will not complain about where they play at. I don't want them to lose a game, but I kind of want to lose a game for the sake of
Jake
pressure.
Sorensen for losing.
Fridays with Jake Sorensen.
If I see him, I would not shake his hand.
93.7 The Ticket on Happer and Schaefer. 1620 The Zone.
We do morning show, guys. We're always on low sleep. It's the way it is.
And we say good morning to our good friend Jake Sorensen from the Ticket in Lincoln, who joins us now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Hi, Jake. What's up?
Morning, guys. How are you?
Good. How was the morning show today? We were thinking that you probably have some residual like excitement coming off of your in-studio guests today.
Yeah, it was exciting. Jason Peter, Grant Wistrom are there, and it was a lot of fun, a lot of reminiscing, but also, as you know, with those guys, especially Jason, he gets pretty fiery about the current situation in Nebraska. So
Indeed.
It was a good conversation, a good talk, and it was fun.
By current
Good time.
situation, you mean the baseball season ticket holder thing, right? That's what I assume Jason Peter was fired up
We
about.
talked about that with him. We did address it, and it was not, it was about what you thought it would be, disappointed in the situation. But yeah, we talked about that with them, and just the state of Nebraska football and a lot of other stuff. So it was a fun, quick morning today, I would say.
This baseball season ticket holder thing is really taken off. I mean, people are very unhappy about this.
Where do you stand on it?
Well, I mean, I think my thing is, Jake, I think it'll kind of work itself out. Would be my guess. Like, I don't think there's so many people in the high level donor area that are going to be claiming regional baseball tickets. That's
sure.
That's kind of what I think. Now, I don't think it's great practice. I think that's most people's point here. But this is kind of the way we're going. I'm just not like super fired up about it, probably mostly because it doesn't affect me all that much.
Well, I had a phone call from an advertiser of mine that has his ticket holder. He started off, he just yelled. I'm like, what's going on? Like, what, I messed something up? Like, no, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad about the situation with the tickets. And he's just like, well, even if there is a queue, I have to get in the queue. I'm not guaranteed my seats. I've been in the whole year. And so you're right, Happer. Like, there's not a guarantee that these good tickets get eaten up by the big donors, but it's the fact that these people who have had their seats this year and for years in the past now have to get in the queue just to hopefully get those spots or somewhere near it. Is I think what is the factor here.
There is always that misconception, though, because this is an NCAA event that is at Nebraska. You're not like guaranteed your same exact season ticket seat. Like that is
right.
That at least people like that would be true, even if they were the people that had first dibs. You wouldn't be guaranteed your seat.
Now, I'm not sure how people's memories, if they're clean, but we've had people call in say when Nebraska hosted 2008, they had their same seats. I don't know if things have changed, if they have bad memories, but you're right. It's just a big story. People are upset. You were having this great year, and now instead of the conversation about how awesome it would be to have a regional, it's about I don't get my seats. And so it's always got to be some sort of unfortunate topic instead of what should be a exciting topic. That's where we're at. Speaking
of not getting their seats or changing the seats, we get a great comment from our friend at Husker Hoops Central. Is Jason Peter team trough? Did you find that out this morning?
We did not talk about the trough with Jason. He might come back in recent upcoming weeks about the trough. I would assume. I guess I don't know what to assume with Jason. He's got to love the trough. Yeah, I think he likes the trough. He's kind of a part of history, like the way things were in the past. So I think he's probably team trough.
Are you interested in purchasing an auction item that says trough from South Stadium?
No, I'm not. I don't really understand the excitement for that. I guess it's something to have. I imagine I have a friend of mine lives at the bottom in Lincoln. He's got a house there and he's got a cool backyard setup. I could see someone like that where it's cool to be north of the stadium having a trough in your backyard where people hang out before and after the games. But I don't really know where that goes otherwise. I don't have a desire to have that anywhere near me or ever. So no, I'm not down with that. I will not
So to be
spitting on it.
clear, not only do you not want to purchase a used trough, obviously that makes a lot of sense, but
Right.
you would rather go to the bathroom in a urinal with a
That's
divider.
correct. That is correct, Happer.
Okay.
I think the Lincoln Stars for a long time had a trough. I'm not sure, they might still have a trough at the ice box in Lincoln, but obviously the one's the stadium. But no, I'm
Maybe they'll
very
replace.
much so opposed. I'm opposed to the trough.
New troughs. The Stars.
Congratulations, season ticket holders to the Stars. We have new troughs
New
in
troughs.
2026-27.
Bigger, better
Oh my
trough
God,
here.
I don't know. I haven't been to their bathrooms for a while. I cannot confirm if they still exist there, but they did in at least the last 10 years.
Oh man, going to Stars games. I haven't been to a Stars game in a really long time.
Yeah,
those games were fun.
They were fun.
That's some good times.
The drinks were strong.
The drinks are
Stars
strong. There's no
game.
doubt,
No doubt
about that.
Okay, so I am curious, Jake. Like, how do you feel like Nebraska did? They add Damon Wilkinson here to kind of, I think, sort of round it out. I know they have one spot left. I don't expect much for that with the transfer portal haul. Knowing that the biggest part of it was just bringing back Sanford and Frager, how do you feel like Nebraska did overall as they set themselves up for what we hope, you and I as long-suffering Nebraska basketball people, is a sustained run and not just a one-year blip?
I love it. I think they did a great job. I love Lenhart at point guard. I think he's going to be obviously good off the bat, and Kapke from Boston College certainly is a kind of a wild card. I'm not sure if you can count on him to be a rink math type player, obviously, or as effective, but I do like him. And I obviously, I like Orm from Belmont, but that was a huge target off the bat, but that was the first guy they got. So I like him. I love the kid they got from South Dakota State. I mean, 6'10", 245, averaging 14 points a game. I know he only started 19 to 32 games, but that's a good piece. You bring back Leo, you bring Seasons back, and I like the roster. I think they've done a great job, and I thought it was interesting that I was looking at a preseason, way too early top 25, and you don't see ESPN guys really give Nebraska love very often. But Jeff Borzello said this might be one of the most, underrated portal hall classes in the entire country, what Nebraska's brought in, and I tend to agree with him.
Yeah, I think they've done a pretty good job. I think
it's really impressive. It's really impressive
Right.
what they've done.
Yeah.
With no massive star, with again the understanding
The
that
problem
you
is-
already have that in Sanford and Frager.
The problem is, like, I think there was so much there was an expectation that maybe they make this huge jump as far as the player pool that they're looking at because of what they did. Like, Jake, you couldn't say on paper that they're going to make a run to the Sweet 16. Like, you wouldn't say that about this team, but that doesn't mean it's not a pretty good job what they did.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And I don't know. I mean, you don't want to have a superstar come in because Price is your superstar, and Frager can be that. So you need to have a third guy that's in alpha. Like, I think you got to be careful how you construct the roster to make sure those guys are still, your pure scorers, your leaders. And I think that what they've added on paper, again, without seeing how they gel together on the court, it makes sense. Like, I get what they did in the roster construction, and I'm a fan of it. So on paper, yeah, I mean, this is obviously a tournament team, and who knows what you do in the dance, but I think they no doubt should be a team that gets there somewhat comfortably, and we see what happens from there.
You are one of Nebraska's most prominent Dolphins fans. We talked to another one on Wednesday who was excited about the addition of Jacob Rodriguez. Overall, did the draft do much of anything for what feels like a rough year ahead for you in Finn's country?
This is going to surprise everybody listening, you guys included. I am typically a pessimist, doomsday, just always unhappy type of sports fan. The Dolphins crushed the draft. They nailed it. The Dolphins absolutely crushed the draft. I know that everyone has their thoughts, from an A to a C minus. Who knows what the draft grades actually be? Again, as I just said about Nebraska basketball, I see their vision in the roster construction. You guys know I was the biggest Chris Greer, former GM of the Dolphins, hater in the world. He's just a moron. He did everything wrong, refused to actually draft guys that made sense for the roster, and often traded picks away because he was so bad at drafting that he just couldn't build a team. Whereas I think Eric Sullivan, the new GM, and Jeff Hafley, which I'm not sold on Hafley being great. I think Sully they call him Sully, is doing a great job of making this roster. They had a reach probably with Caleb Douglas in the third round, Texas Tech, but you mentioned Rodriguez was a great get in the second. People thought Proctor was maybe a reach, and he could have had Caleb, could have had Downs there, which is a story in itself. But he wants to build a big, tough offensive line, and I think the plan is to have Proctor at left guard. It sounds like starting off with Patrick Ball left tackle, Austin Jackson right tackle. I like the line, so I really think he's doing a great job, and I understand what he's going for. And for the first time maybe in years, I feel like, hey, this guy actually knows how to build a team. It's not just putting random pieces together. He sees a vision, and I'm seeing his vision.
And you don't have to deal with Tua anymore.
No, and Tua's gone, and now who knows if Malik Willis is any good? He was fun with the Packers, and he's mobile. I can see a guy whose longest run is more than 9 yards this year. I can assure you that. I mean, Tua's running for 9 yards. He's got probably 50 yards ahead of him. He gets caught from behind.
No, it took like Tua. It
tackle.
took Tua like 3 hours to get 9 yards. It was so slow.
Watching him run was gave me a migraine every time.
Well, and then you were always worried that he was going to
him
die.
having much worse than a migraine anytime he's running, too.
Right.
Yes, yeah. It's I'm not, again, Tua, as I said before in the show, was not a bust. He just wasn't as good as we hoped. And I wish him well with the Falcons, but the Dolphins needed a fresh start. They could not go on with him. And as you said, Schaefer, this will be a bad year, probably in the 3-14, 4-13 category. But I still like what they're building, and I think that he gets how this roster needs to get developed and built.
Do you have a preference of the 2027 quarterbacks that are going to be bandied about? Do you want to be a Dante Moore guy?
Arch.
Do you want CJ Carr? Do you want Cars down in Miami?
Carr interests me. I want to see more from Arch this year. I know he had a good second part of the year. He had a terrible start the first part of the year, but now he's got Cam Coleman down there in Texas. He's got a bunch of Smothers down there. I'm curious to see how he looks off the bat, but certainly he's someone we'll be curious about. And I don't know. I never know about Oregon quarterbacks for sure if they're going to work out. So Dante Moore, I'm curious, but I'm not leaning that direction. Let's go with that.
Okay. The Royals steadied out a little bit for you this week.
And then
well, they got the great fortune of playing the Angels, and then 1-1 in Oakland or wherever the hell they are now, Sacramento. And then the last 2 days have been losses again. What's our stock report looking like on the no longer significant losing streak bound Kansas City Royals?
Well, they might have started a new one possibly. They've lost 2 straight. Who knows? You might lose 6 more games in a row. They're playing the Mariners, who have always given them a tough time on the West Coast these next 3 games. So I don't know. I thought that Bobby Witt home run to win the game against the A's, the first game, was going to spark even more of a run. But Noah Cameron's been disappointing this year so far, and I know he's the 5 guy. You can't ask the world of him, and the whole roster's been disappointing. But they leave a lot to be desired right now. And I know that Vinny, I guess, had some sort of injury. We'll see if he's back today or not. Mike Kell was out for a couple games. It's just been not a complete start from hell, but pretty close to a sister or a brother of that, of a start from hell. So, expectations are low. I always hear that open. I picked them to win the World Series, and I have to stand by that. But it does not look good right now. The benefit, of course, that we all know is that, as Schaefer knows too, that the AL Central is just complete garbage.
That's right.
So
Yep.
there's always a chance.
It's always a chance.
And 100 teams make the playoffs, so you never know.
That's true. That's true.
Where are you watching the Derby tomorrow?
Derby will be at my house.
Okay.
I have a little fun story. So my birthday was on Tuesday, and my co-host Bill Bush got me a bottle of bourbon with the rules that I can only open this bourbon on Derby days the rest of my life. I have 1 shot. So this could last me the rest of my life. So I will take this. I'll take my pour of it and my shot of it, and I'll have it again next year.
You can only take 1 shot, or you can only drink it on Derby Day.
I can only have 1 drink of it on Derby Day
every year. Wow.
Yep.
That is going to take you a while.
He's like, you'll have this when me and Sip are dead and gone, which was very morbid and sad. But This bottle should, if I hold on to it and don't lose it, should last me a long, 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 long time.
That's got to
So
be
I
a
kinda like that.
significant bottle of whiskey there.
Yes, it's yeah. I don't even know which one it is. It's at my house, but I like that. So I will have my one shot of that during the Derby, and open again next year. But I'll be watching
Tremendous.
from my
If
house.
it's got a
How
horse
about you
on
guys?
it, it's probably Blanton's.
It's not Blanton. I do have Blanton's. That's not that one. I do have that in my house, but that is not which one this is. I forgot what it is, honestly.
Yeah, I'm not up to date
It's
on my
not. It's not a
whiskeys.
super. It's not a super crazy expensive
Is
one.
whiskey
But
or bourbon, or
it's
what did he
nice.
say? Bourbon?
Yeah, it's
It
bourbon.
it does have a horse on it, but it's not Blanton.
Okay.
It has just like a horse in the label, not on top of the actual bottle. Like the
Well,
Blanton.
luckily you'll have time to figure it out because you'll have the bottle for literally the rest
Yes.
of your life.
Yeah,
which
for
is-
50, 60 years, however long it's going to be.
which is great. All right. Jake, happy belated birthday. Enjoy
Thank you.
the weekend this weekend. Good to talk as always.
You as well. Thanks, guys.
Jake Sorensen from 93.7 The Ticket in Lincoln. People are saying that it's probably Woodford Reserve. I got a bottle of Woodford
I've got Woodford.
Reserve.
I actually have a very nice bourbon collection.
Whoa.
That just has been gifted to me, or
Bourbon
that I won
boy.
in like a raffle, or I actually won as a
It's
flag prize one
Weirdly,
time.
I agree with you. It's one of those things that I kind of just always have.
Yeah.
But
But I don't
buy it.
partake in it
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
So it's there, you know.
Alex Lincoln says we need an update on what the bottle is. Yeah, I'll send him a text.
We'll make him update it.
Yeah, we will. Okay. Well, one shot for the rest of his life. On
Do
one
you think
day
you'll ever
a year.
sneak a second one in?
Yeah, I think you got to
What
pour
if
the
you have
shot a
people
little.
over? Then do you have to offer them a shot, or is it just him?
I think it's just him. I think you got to pour the shot a little heavy though.
Yeah.
Little overflow.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
shot.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back, our bracket sim, and we'll get you out of here on a Friday in May on Happer and Schaefer on 1620 The Zone. All right, so thanks to Ray and Lincoln for doing some internet sleuthing. There's a picture of Jake celebrating his birthday with Bill Bush and Steve Sipple and a couple other random guys that I don't really know. But they gave him a cake that says Royals suck. And then they gave him a bottle of whiskey, the bottle of whiskey that was referenced. Union Horse Distilling Company Reserve bourbon whiskey. There you go. Wasn't the Woodford, but that's one shot every Derby day for the rest of his life. And then it's at that point, it still might not be gone.
Yeah. He's going to have to live a long time to finish the bottle.
People were having ideas as to what it was. No, it wasn't Woodford Reserve. It wasn't Buffalo Trace. It was something a little bit different. By the way, I got a couple tweets. First of all, from Joel, who tweets at us at Happen Shave. Make sure Joey clips that for when the Dolphins are 5-12 in December. So he was saying 3-14 or 4-13.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they're
He's
going to.
excited about the roster build, not so much the results that are going to immediately come
I think
out.
6-11 seems very reachable for the Dolphins this year.
Could very well be.
Very, very reachable. Also, Sam, Jay's fan, Sam writes in, he's talking about this portal class like when the failure nephew locks down a pretty good job for 3 months. Yeah, it's actually looking pretty good. See, I thought they did pretty good. I thought they did a pretty good job. Actually, I think they're going to be fine. They'll be fine with the pieces.
I'm now trying to think of which of my nephews is going to be the failure nephew.
The failure nephew to get the job for 3 months.
Could
Hey,
be
check
all
this
of
guy out. He's got a job, and he's holding it.
Whoa!
He's doing it for a long period of time. Also, Albino Tornado writes in, they need to put the troughs in Ark Hall where the other historic urinals are, the famous Hinsdales. Is this true? I've only been in Ark Hall once.
Yeah, I've never been.
I was friends with one architecture major in college. We went into Ark Hall, I think, one time.
Okay.
And-
Specifically so you could go in there? Or did you have a reason to go in there?
I don't know why. I can't remember why.
Okay.
I was in there, though.
Yeah, never. This now makes me wonder how many buildings on campus I've never actually
So
been in.
did you see the tweets going on around yesterday about how the kids were saying, hey, you have to, like, you should use these because the buildings are all open and this is what your tuition is for, and no one ever does it. And they were like watching a football game on a big screen in a like a theater style classroom. I'm like, actually, that's genius. I never once considered that.
Yeah,
I would have
super
rather
smart.
watch it on my old ass leather couch in my room at my house or whatever.
No, that's
wherever
very
it was.
smart.
Yeah, smart. The kids are resourceful these days, that's for sure. To the bracket sim, as we simulate a bracket and then a current bracket and then a projected bracket before the weekend. Nebraska, according to the current bracket, is the number 1 seed in the Lincoln Regional, hosting Arizona State, Gonzaga, and Oral Bob.
It sets up for a super regional that would be amazing, particularly with your situation.
They are matched up with the 7 seed Lawrence Regional, KU, Arkansas, Pitt, and Bethune-Cookman. The Blue Jays, by the way, have made the field, and they are headed to Oxford with Ole Miss, Oregon, and Cal Baptist. That's a pretty popular one over the last couple of days. All right, simulating we go. Oh, jeez. All right. It did not work out how you thought it was going to work out on mine. It worked out how you thought it was going to work out on yours. Arizona State and Pitt are meeting in a super regional, according to this.
Oh, wow.
Nebraska and Kansas, neither of them advanced.
Wow. Over here, both Kansas and Nebraska advanced to the super regional.
Yeah.
And Kansas advances from there.
The Schadenfreude on Nebraska and Kansas potentially being matched up for a super and then neither of them getting out of the regional is honestly too juicy for me to pass up. KU being the villain of baseball right now and them just being perpetually aggrieved by everything and them not getting out of a regional would be the most hilarious possible result. It'd be very, very fun.
A lot happening there.
I would very much enjoy that.
I want to throw on mine over here how you'd feel about this field.
Connor World Series?
Yeah. This is the Connor World Series. It would be UCLA, Georgia, Mississippi State, A&M on one side of the draw, Georgia Tech, Kansas, Oregon State, USC on the other side.
A little boring. I like that we got Georgia Tech and KU in there. I like that we have UCLA in there.
This championship game would stink.
What do we got?
UCLA,
Oh, that
USC.
would be terrible.
Yeah, I would
hate
not
that.
like that.
No fan bases.
No
and
fan bases, and like, oh, cool,
I
a
agree.
rivalry game championship, fun.
Nobody would care about
That
that.
nobody even cares about the rivalry.
Correct. Nobody cares about the rivalry. It's not like anybody would come from UCLA to
Right.
watch it.
Then another
or from
Big Ten
LA.
team wins it all.
That's true. It'd be a Big Ten national championship game, which would suck even worse than all of it.
Doesn't matter.
Look at the Big Ten. They might invest in baseball now. No, they won't. They'll still be on BTN Plus for 90% of their games next year. They won't.
Because lax is the future.
My Connor World Series is UCLA, Auburn, Mississippi State, Texas A&M, Georgia Tech, Arizona State, Vandy, and Southern Miss, which is a little bit more fun, I think, than yours.
Yeah, Southern Miss. If you didn't have Southern Miss and it was just another generic SEC team, that would suck.
We have an Arizona State, Texas A&M Natty, where Arizona State, as a regional 2, wins the national championship.
Whoa!
Coming out of the Lincoln Regional to win the national championship. Then we go to the projected bracket, where Nebraska is set to host Tennessee, Clemson, and St. Joe's in the Lincoln Regional. Creighton will be headed to Tallahassee. This is the same one as yesterday, so let's see how it sims out. Nebraska makes it through the regional and loses to North Carolina in the Super. But this is a great Connor World Series. UCLA, Auburn, UC Santa Barbara, Regional 3 comes out of Starkville to get the job done. Alabama, Georgia Tech, defending national runners-up Coastal, North Carolina, and Texas with a UCLA Coastal National Championship Series and Coastal winning.
Okay.
That's fun. That's really
I like
fun.
that.
That is fun.
I really like that.
A lot better than what I got over here,
Oh,
which
yikes.
ended up being neither Nebraska nor North Carolina won their region or regional. Vanderbilt and Clemson as 3 seeds win both.
Ugh.
Clemson goes to not only to the College World Series, Clemson in the championship game against Mississippi State with UCLA, Oregon, Auburn.
I don't think Clemson's actually going to make it.
They're probably like on
they're
the cut line.
very much on the bubble right now. Yeah.
So this has them making a deep
Yeah. And who wins the Natty?
run. Mississippi State.
That'd be fun. I'd like to see I wouldn't mind seeing Mississippi State win.
There was one that I think
Brian
it was
O'Connor.
Peter and I did it, and it ended up being Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Now that is a rivalry game and a championship.
Okay, I'd be down
would
for that.
take
That'd be
over
fun.
the entire area. Just the Egg Bowl, but baseball.
I'd be down for that.
Yeah, I can get behind that if that happens.
Which rivalries would you like to see in the
I
College
don't
World
want to
Series
see
final?
Texas A&M. I'm good. I don't need to see it.
That would be at least more fun. I mean, that'd certainly be more fun than USC UCLA.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think that's the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Can we
That
get?
is
Can we
that
get
is the
lower
last
than that?
possible thing I want to see.
Right. So, assuming you can't get lower than that,
Yeah. I mean, Auburn, Alabama.
yeah,
Nebraska,
that would be-
Kansas.
I would be interested in that. Like if you're,
Nebraska, Kansas.
you're forcing me to 2 SEC teams, I'd rather they just hate each other.
Yeah.
But also not be Texas.
Well,
A&M.
and it's a special kind of hate because I don't think they actually care about the baseball version of it. Like Ole Miss fans, when they were in the finals a couple of years ago, I remember distinctly talking to people and they were like, "Oh yeah, I don't really know anything about this. I just heard
Heard
that
there was a party.
I heard there was a party up here, and I really like the Rebs. So go Rebs." And I'm like, I respect that, man. Like that's cool. And so they were all up here, and so yeah, Ole Miss, Mississippi State would be a lot of fun because it would bring that out in people. How about
Okay.
Texas, Oklahoma?
Yeah, I mean, I could.
Wouldn't do it for me. Oklahoma's
I
fan
would
base
put
is
it-
not quite
I would
there.
put it maybe above the A&M one, but it wouldn't really probably go above anything else.
Nope. Mike says an Egg Bowl championship equals 10 million Jello shots. Kenneth says people might actually get murdered if Ole Miss, Mississippi State happened. We do not support that, but it's possible. All right. That'll do it for us today and for the week. We appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, if you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the Derby. The crossover is coming up next.